The most intimate podcast.
Yeah, we're all real close to each other. No, because we're talking Hello and welcome to the Pixel Podcast. We're here talking about Dungeons & Dragons. We're talking about going to karaoke bars, but you missed all of that. It was such a great conversation.
It's almost like we should have been recording it.
Lost to time. You'll never hear it. You'll never be a part of this podcast.
That would require editing.
I would have to actually like find a spot like right now.
Hey, Ricardo, what did you think of that karaoke bar?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't as crazy as it was.
It was. I feel like they hyped it up
where was
a
this?
lot.
Went to that karaoke bar I went to a while ago.
On Saturday?
On Saturday.
But you went to it before, right?
I did, and it was way.
I didn't know you were going to that as well.
Yeah, it was way crazier last time. Near the end, it started to get kind of what that level was, kind of the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a hot dog suit again, or what was it? Banana suit or something like that?
Oh, in the middle of the last time, there was a hula hoop, like in the middle of it, like, all right, we're done with karaoke for a bit. We're gonna take a break, and we're gonna bring out this hula hoop dancer, and she does it professionally or something, and it's just someone just with a glowing hole
I
in the
didn't
hoop,
even know you could have them.
and just it was weird.
It was okay. Like I feel like we didn't even get there that late, but then like karaoke kind of filled up really quickly.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
And I'm the only one that got to sing more than one song, and like nobody was into my first song, so like it was just a waste of time. It was you got another thing coming from.
Yeah, you got to feel out the crowd, and the crowd was not into metal.
They were more into Wonder Boy, but still, even then was less.
Man, it's like that first time where it's like, oh, everything's amazing, and then the second time it's just
80s.
like
That's where
you
it's
hit
at.
you hit the perfect like
Yeah.
zone in the first one, and then like
like, this is
and then you
amazing.
came back and it's like, oh wait, this was just a one-off. That we just got lucky that night.
I mean, it was also we went on a Friday and this was a Saturday, so maybe that
Different crowds,
maybe
completely
different
different days.
Different.
It was interesting to see how many people there went solo because I saw so many people just going by themselves, just being like, "Oh, we'll sing some songs at karaoke."
Yeah, man. You meet people, you get to
Yes.
know people, get some drinks.
It was fun.
Sing some songs.
I don't know if I'd
There were
subject myself
There were free
going
there were free quesadillas.
How far
Yeah.
was it?
going
It's
all the
really
way
far.
to
It's
Culver
like in LA,
City.
right? Oh yeah, Culver City.
Super
Yeah.
far. I think if you didn't have work the next day, you probably would enjoy it a little bit more.
Maybe.
And just like also we did hype it up a lot.
And also, you
Yeah,
guys did go like out drinking quite
The
late
night-
night
the
the
night
night
before.
before.
Yeah, everyone there was like, "Well, I'm getting like 2 drinks and then I'm done." Yep. I had one and I was like, "Yep, I don't want to drink ever again." Thanks.
How late did you guys stay out on Friday night?
I
I don't
got
even know. I thought you left at the end. I didn't even know when you left.
Yeah.
I got home at probably.
I mean,
about-
I left.
We didn't leave too late, though.
I did leave pretty much to the end.
I got
Like, stuff
home
was
at
winding
like
down.
2:30 probably. That
Yeah, so we
night.
probably left around like 1:30 or so. We did.
Yeah, I left at like 12:30.
I knew the bar wasn't closed, but I knew we were all just kind of like, all right, tired.
That second bar was not built to handle the amount of people that we decided. I, mean,
Yeah.
I know you probably don't remember,
no,
but
no, I remember that.
we
I
had
remember all
like
sitting in different
20.
tables.
We had like
Little
20
gas
people,
bar.
and
I didn't expect. Well, the thing was, I didn't.
Because
I
Lola
didn't
Gas Bar last time there was like 5 of us.
Yeah, that
It
was the thing, it's
you,
like-
me, Narita.
everyone was like
Michelle,
pressuring me. They're like, "We want to go to the second place because we want liquor," and I'm like, "Oh, fucking whatever. Let's just go then." There's just way too many people there.
yeah.
I was wondering why like that place in particular. I was like, I feel like we could have just gone to somebody else. But if everybody was being little babies about liquor.
Yeah, like I want liquor. I'm like, "What's wrong with beer? Okay, whatever. If you guys insist."
I don't like if when I go to I really like liquor, but when I go to a bar I don't really want liquor because
Yeah, I
liquor
don't-
is really expensive and I have it at home and it's way cheaper.
It's way cheaper at home.
So
Unless
I
it's
go
like
get the beer
a
'cause
super
the
fancy.
beer
liquor
is also
thing.
expensive, but I mean like I can't get those beers
It's like
everywhere.
yeah. I also think
The
it was like
drinks.
at worst house they have pretty reasonable prices, like $5 for like a couple beers or $5 on there.
Really? I didn't see any of those.
No.
Or if I did, I wasn't getting those ones. But
Yeah,
they're still
5 or
not.
$6. They're pretty
they're-
reasonably priced.
They're expensive for how big the
True.
pours are. They're kind of expensive, but they're also really strong alcoholic content on those beers, and they're not like just beers that you'd find anywhere. There's a couple beers that I've seen before not there, but most of those beers are like only
That's
I've
true.
only seen
Yeah, they
there.
got some pretty good selections.
So I was okay. I'm always okay with paying a little bit higher price at a bar. It's gonna
That's
happen.
whatever. Yeah, but yeah, you're totally right. If I go to a bar, I'm like, this is expensive cocktails. It's like $12 when I could get a beer for like $7 or $6.
Yeah. But hey,
Usually
it was a fun night, and that sausage was amazing, especially after the
I'm
best thing
really
is
bummed I didn't actually get sausage.
the best thing is like you have like a beer and a half, and you're like, I want this sausage,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
and
I ate
and
like
then
right
you're like,
before.
this sausage is amazing. Oh.
I never really had sausage there. I need to go back
So good.
again.
I had
The
alligator.
fries.
I had the alligator.
Their
one.
fries
the
are
fries
really
were really
good.
good. Yeah, I had the alligator.
That place
sausage.
owns. It's a good place.
We should go there for like not your birthday, so that we don't have to deal with
Like
like
a chill-
30 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my problem is I invite too many people.
It was fun.
I,
Yeah, hey,
I
man,
strategically
yeah, more power
invite
to
enough
you.
people that they all like. I'm like, okay, there's at least like
Segment.
5 people from this group, 5 people from this
Yeah,
group.
Yeah,
they're
segment
segmented
off,
they're all
and
they're
they're
segmented,
gonna
gonna
different groups.
be able to
Talk
take
to
care
each
of
other.
themselves.
Mhm.
Exactly.
which was nice. So
I didn't feel
just
too
thought
pressured to like try and talk to new people.
True.
Yeah,
Worst.
makes it easy. Otherwise,
The Bratwurst.
Well, hey.
I'm glad you guys had fun because I didn't know because I was like,
Yeah, no,
I'm
it was
having a
really-
Yeah,
great
you
time.
couldn't
It was
tell.
really fun.
Hey,
And
that's
then-
all that's
and then-
important, man. You had a good time. I mean,
Yeah,
like
and
honestly,
And
it
the
doesn't
next
really
night was
matter,
fun, but again, it was like we died the previous night.
I totally didn't. Throw
I
up
played
at
D
night
and
at
D
all
on
either.
Saturday night.
Oh,
That's
nice.
what I did.
That's what I heard. Amber was telling me that, and I was like, he betrayed us. And I was like, that's
No,
cool.
No.
that's cool.
I know I know it's hard for us to all get together. So
Yeah.
How was it
no,
anyway?
Hey guys, if you want to do another D&D night, I am 100%
I know.
down because I am.
it's just finding the time.
no,
Yeah, and,
that's
like,
exactly why
and
I
if
went to
I'm
this one
gonna-
because I was like, well, I'm,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
don't
like-
blame
and
you
if
at all.
I'm gonna DM, I have to fucking do so much studying and stuff like that.
Hey man, you were on top of it last time. You were like,
Yeah.
you were 100% solid.
You
Like
good.
this one was a little bit less prepared than you.
Oh,
and you were
really?
not like a DM. Like, and like he was good. He was a solid DM, but like.
Man.
Ethan
You gotta see Mike. He's
Ethan
fucking
shat
good. I
on
don't
me
know how.
after he saw Mike.
Dude, Mike is so good. That's the thing is Mike is just really good at improvising. Like he's just like he doesn't sit there and go, "What are the rules?" He's just like, "No, you just do
Oh
this."
no, yeah, no, it wasn't any of that. It wasn't like that bad. It wasn't like you go. It was actually really
Oh.
cool because like he DMs regularly on another group, and
Oh, okay.
like
Well, that's good.
these are all coworkers. He DMs another group. We're actually at a house of these 2 girls who are in his other group,
Mhm.
and they weren't even playing with us. They were like just hanging out with us anyway because they just wanted to like have drinks and kick back. And they were like, "Hey, we'll look up rules. So if you
That's
guys,
nice.
if you
That's
guys
nice.
need
That's
rule
cool.
lookups, we're your rule lookups." And then he was just DMing basically.
That's nice.
So he was doing this is like they were like he's doing like one-shot campaigns and saying like, "Hey, if you guys are interested in Dungeons and Dragons and never played before, like everybody except for me had only played like a half a game or never played before at all." And he's like, "Here's how you play like D&D." Basically, is what
That's
he's
cool,
kind of
man.
doing for everybody. It was really fun, and there was tons of beer there and pizza because
Yeah.
everyone. He was like, "Please bring your own drinks, cause so we don't have." And then everybody bought a 6-pack, so then we were like,
You
got
got
a lot-
way
we
too
had a
many.
lot of beers.
Yeah, if
You
everyone brings
guys-
a 6-pack, then there's 6 beers for everyone.
Yeah, no,
That's
we
all-
didn't actually drink that much.
It's
Of course.
better-
Yeah, you
I-
gotta drive home at
Oh
some
yeah,
point.
of course. And it's always better when people do that as opposed to like you kind of just are like wishy-washy about it. It's like, if you want to bring something, it's cool, and then everybody's an asshole and
Yeah,
doesn't
doesn't
bring
bring
anything.
Yeah, you have to say requirement for this. I mean, that's a good honest requirement because it's like $6-7 for a 6-pack.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You
And
got no
so
work
yeah,
with
it was cool. The group was a little big. It was like
Yeah, a little big.
6 people.
It's
That's
a little on the
That's probably
higher
the
end.
max I would
yeah,
do.
yeah. It's not like it's not like it's huge. And I think the biggest point was that like the campaign he found was
Just okay or what?
it's just okay. Yeah. Like he was fine as the DM part of it,
That's
but
good.
the campaign was just like it wasn't
I
terrible.
didn't mean to shit on you, Ricardo.
It's
And
not terrible.
It's just apparently Mike has done this for. I didn't know he did this for years, so he's very
Why
good. At
would
it.
you
Anyway,
ever play with Mike?
let's
don't
yeah, I'll totally play a game with Mike. That'll be fun.
All right, well, let's get on this because it's almost 8 and we
Yeah.
haven't even started.
Man,
You're
he's
right.
And then we're back. And anyway, yeah. So
We don't talk about anything but video games.
just
on this
video
podcast.
games. Anyway, guys, how's your beer?
Oh, the beer's good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're doing. This is our second week of
So,
doing beers.
Second week of beers are, Ethan last week decided to introduce hipsterness. While I was sick, hipsterness invaded the podcast.
got
And
my
now
new
he's got,
glasses
and now
now.
he's
I was
got
gonna
new
say, now
hipster glasses.
He's introduced
He's fully-
hipsterness to his face.
He's got a man
now.
bun going on.
You know what? I figured let's go the whole 9 yards as hipsterness is fading out.
So we've got the Lagunitas Sucks
Sucks.
brown sugar substitute ale.
Mhm.
Is what we've rocking tonight. I brought this one. We've tried Lagunitas before. They're a pretty solid brewery. They're actually
Yeah.
from California, which
Petaluma, right?
yeah, Northern California. I appreciate that. I haven't had this one before. This was billed as an exclusive one.
I have actually a giant quart of it in my room. I have not drank it. I found it on discount, which was very nice.
Yeah. It was kind of cheaper at where I found it too.
It's nice. It's just weird because it's really
limited
good.
Release.
Yeah,
it's a good solid beer. Like,
this is a really good.
It's actually fairly strong too. Actually,
it's fairly strong for how like not hoppy. It's very smooth.
Yeah, it's got
a little bit
of bitterness, but not like overly hoppy for sure.
Just a little bit, just to be like, hey, you know what? You're drinking a beer that's for men.
Yeah, Lagunitas has a lot of like IPAs and stuff like that. Not all their stuff is IPAs, but that's
what they're famous for. Is their IPAs like one of the most well-known one. The Lagunitas IPAs, like you can get that anywhere.
I like their IPA. I like their Little Something.
Little Something is so good.
It's good.
Little Something is probably my favorite one.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite one from theirs.
Yeah, this one's a good. This one's a good, like slightly more bitter than Little Something.
It's still really smooth, man.
But like it is kind of sweet too. Like I didn't know anything about it until I saw the brown sugar part of it.
Sugar? They spell sugar nice in here too. SHUGGA.
Well, I mean, with Little Something.
Sugar.
Apostrophe.
They're
Get that apostrophe.
Look, Lagunitas, we're cool up in here in Petaluma. You know, we're cool.
Yeah. No, this is oops, I tapped on the microphone.
It's fine. It gets the full effect.
There's a little dog in the corner. It says, "We suck."
Well, this is called the Brown Sugar Substitute Ale. Do they have another beer that's called Brown Sugar?
I'm not actually sure.
I don't know. Maybe that was some indie thing. Where
there's probably something.
They have
some explanation on it.
Maybe they made it and then they're like, "This sucks," so they made one up there.
Lagunitas seems to have several in jokes. So here we go. E.K. Ross would have enjoyed our suffering in 2010 when we saw we couldn't brew our brown sugar. But in that time of deepest despair, as common to artists everywhere, broke hungover, abandoned by the muse, and prepared to take a job at Arby's, we found in that darkness the spark of inspiration that would yield up this nearly sanctified recipe. They have another one cool called Lagunitas Censored, which is like in tribute to when they got shut down. Apparently they got shut down for like missing some health code thing they needed to do.
That's funny.
And they have one called Censored, which is to celebrate the fact that they got shut
Lagunitas
down.
is definitely one of the top, in my opinion, one of the better craft breweries. It's very consistent.
Especially
up there with Ballast Point sort of thing. Yeah, at least on the West Coast here.
Yeah. Stone Solid too. But
Stone is solid.
They're really mainstream at this point.
Yeah.
Too mainstream for me.
Yeah, not hipster enough.
Let me tighten my man bun.
Not hipster. You gotta adjust those glasses.
I like the Anderson Valley stuff. Boont Ale, as well as their Hopoten IPA.
Mission is really good.
Mission is good.
Up in North Cal as well. When we were when I was at a trip recently in Northern California for work reasons, and there was perhaps a work sponsored beer festival going on. There's all Mission beer. They always partner apparently with a different local brewery.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is really cool.
I've seen Mission has like cans that are like, obviously it's a gimmick, it's not necessarily their typical one, but they have cans that are like the Foster size cans of like Mission stuff.
Ooh, nice.
In it.
All right, enough about beer.
Yeah.
This beer is good.
Good choice, Matt.
Is our review.
Good choice.
Solid.
4 out of 5. I give it.
I would say 4 out of 5.
Man, are we rating these now with
well,
numbers and
our
everything?
thing we gave the melon 3 out of 5.
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a 4.
Yeah,
4.
solid 4.
What
it's
would
not
you
like
say?
amazing.
For comparison, what is a 5 out of 5?
The
guys?
Patsy.
The Patsy.
Patsy's great. I would say original Sculpin from Ballast Point is a 5.
What about that peanut butter stout from Carl Strauss?
I'd say that's the peanut butter cup strout.
Yeah, that's a 5.
That one's pretty good. I was gonna say the Belching Beaver.
No, not that one.
It's 4.
That one's
I'd
fine.
say.
It's good. It's solid. But that one from Carl Strauss.
I really like Boone.
Only from Tap. Though.
I really like Boone.
That's why I live right next to that. That's why I live right
I
next
live
to
here so I can get my fix.
Get that growler.
I have that growler from not Carl Strauss, from Barley Forge specifically, so I can get the Patsy.
Yeah, that's
on tap. That's the reason.
There's a vanilla porter I like a lot, but I had it in the bottle and I was like, this is not very good.
There was a chocolate.
That was how I felt for I had Ballast Point's Calm Before the Storm, their cream coffee ale, their coffee cream ale.
I feel like their stouts and porters are not as good as their like.
I really love Victory at Sea. To me, that's a 5, but to you, it's
that.
That's like a 2.
Yeah, then I had that. And it was like, and I like those stouts, and I didn't like that.
You don't like coffee.
I had that on their tap.
I've had coffee stouts before.
I had that on tap, the coffee cream ale on tap when it was still in development, and their tasting kitchen when it was called White Squall, and it was amazing. And then I got in bottles, and it was just okay. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's definitely the whole thing of the freshness and blah blah blah, the bottling process and
exposing the beer to light really does weaken the flavor.
I mean, frankly, I do like cans better than bottles.
I just can't get behind cans. I get all the reasons.
Man. It's better
I get
ecology.
No, that's not the word either.
You could as someone who's worked at a recycling center, you can fully recycle an aluminum can, but you cannot fully recycle a glass bottle.
No, but is ecology the word?
Ecology is not the word.
Shut up.
Environment.
Yes. No,
guys. What's ecology?
You guys are 100% right. Facts all line up. I don't disagree. But it's just something
can't.
About when I hold the can in my hand and I bring it to my lips and I just don't. It just doesn't taste.
You just got to pour it out into a glass. Pour it out into a glass.
Maybe that.
No, honestly, I like it.
Having the metal against my lips, I think, alters the flavor.
I like drinking it from a can.
I don't even know.
It makes me feel more working class, too.
Like, yeah, I like beer.
That is such a blue collar rich person thing to do.
I'll tell you.
I want to live like common people.
I'll tell you what, Bobby. Damn it, Bobby, get out the front lawn, Bobby.
You're like, you get home from your white collar job, and you put on your blue collar shirt, and you're like, all right,
yeah,
I'm gonna drink this
I
modern
put on my
times.
White shirt, and I say,
man, it's such a rich person thing to do. To be like, man, what do the poor people do? Perhaps I should experience it for a day. I drink this out of a can. Look at me.
I'm better than Bud Light, but you know what? I will take the delivery mechanism any day. For the environment, just as the poors do.
No, but
if I have the option, I go with cans.
It's true.
I do too, but
cans are probably better. And they say that they've made the thing where like the can flavor gets into the drink. They said that's gone away now, and they've figured that whole thing out.
But still, when you taste
I
get the same thing because when I drink water out, it took me a long time to get used to drinking water out of like an aluminum container, which is how I do now. But every time I drank it before, I was like, I taste the metal. It's so gross. I taste it, but now I'm like, I don't taste it at all.
Metal containers for liquid are like my favorite. Like my new coffee pot is metal.
Nice.
I have a water bottle that's metal, and for some reason, I don't mind that as much.
That's weird.
It's a mental
soda.
thing,
It's
probably.
soda too, though. Like soda, beer, and water doesn't have flavor.
I mean,
so
it might be like a social, like a thing that's just ingrained in your mind. You're just like,
be a mental
you're just
thing.
like.
My parents
this
never
is just
liked
cheaper.
canned stuff. They always like the glass bottles of the Coke when we, when
oh
they
yeah,
come out in
the
Christmas
Mexico,
time or
the
whatever,
Mexican
Coke.
Coke.
And, well, that actually is different. Mexican Coke
no,
is
that's totally
different
better.
Because it's
Hecho en Mexico.
See.
I
all right.
don't know.
Well, should we talk about video games? Maybe.
What?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right,
Okay.
all right. I should probably pull out the list. Who wants to go first, guys?
Ricardo's been playing a game.
I'll talk about it because I've only played a little bit of it.
His heritage.
I play something very close to my heart. I be playing Tropico 5 or 5 as the gringos call it.
¿Por qué no nos 4?
Porque los 5 está free ahora en el store de PlayStation.
¿Dónde está?
PS.
¿Dónde está el PlayStation?
PSN.
This podcast is in English.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
you.
Okay, so one of the games that's free here in May for PS Plus members is
build a wall around this podcast.
Tropico 5, which is the long-running.
Well, finally we can go there and visit it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
open the borders.
Open the
no
flights.
more embargo. Which is the sim style game based on like running your own kind of Banana Republic.
So I played 4.
Okay.
I can't remember if I played 4 or 5. I feel like I played 4.
Probably played 4.
5 was in 2015.
Pretty recently, yeah.
Yeah, so that must have been 4.
Yeah, I played 4
on the PC.
And yeah, basically it's imagine SimCity, except instead you run an island republic that starts in the kind of colonial era, and then you can declare your independence and move on to the World War era and Cold War and stuff. So it's not dissimilar from something like Sin City or like Skylines.
Sin
City.
Yeah. Frank Miller.
No.
Black and white.
She
This whole
was-
game.
I could tell she was a dame to kill for. No, anyway, it's not dissimilar to those games. It's just flavored in a different way. So you're dealing with a lot of.
It has kind of a quirky sense of
It's
humor.
definitely like it's kind of a caricature of
Yeah,
because
it kind of brushes off all the kind of horribleness that a
Yeah,
dictatorship
that's
does.
the thing.
They're
Is
just like,
because
"Eh."
essentially, like it gives
It's
you all
really
the
cartoony.
tools.
The whole
Yes,
game is very cartoony.
essentially gives you all the tools to become like a dictator. Like every like kind of objective and milestone you hit, it gives you like the option of pocketing money and like putting it in a Swiss bank account. Like
Yeah.
it gives you the option
or like when you
to like rig elections and stuff like that.
when you complete an objective, it's like, do you want this money for the country or for just
For
you?
yourself
Yeah.
or what like what
But what's the point of getting it for yourself? Like,
I don't really know.
Wouldn't
That's why
that-
I never got about the Tropico.
I was like, why don't I? I don't really care about my own money. I want to make my city awesome.
I think it's because that sort of stuff is like not is not taxable and not like affected by a lot of the things that occur in the game. Like it's independent from money you spend on the country itself.
Right.
So technically, like it could be a bad thing because you can't like technically use it for certain city projects and stuff. But at the same time, if something really bad happens, you can be like, oh, and then there's all this money, and it's like, where did that money come from? And it's like, don't worry about it.
You get a new park.
Don't worry about it.
You get a
Don't worry
new
about
park. It doesn't matter.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's weird because this is this is like the one game that and maybe like Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker that comes
that
like
take place
that takes place like
in
in a and talks about a
Central
lot of
South
subject
America.
matter that is like close to my heritage.
Yeah.
So I feel a little bit weird, but at the same time, it's like I don't know.
I don't
It's
think either of these games, Peace Walker or this, are necessarily the most indicative or
yeah, definitely.
Hey man, about Black Ops 1.
Oh yeah, dude! Black Ops 1 is great because it has.
Is that why you like it so much? Because you do kill for
Just
that.
that, just that one in
Yes,
the beginning.
well, and in the beginning too, it also when you're in the bar, it plays Kimbara from Celia
does.
Cruz, and I'm
This is
10,
the best.
I'm 10 years old again, and so
dancing.
so yeah, in the one way, it's kind of like weird, but also I kind of like it for sort of that thing too. I don't know. I need to play a little bit more of it.
So how's the console controls on it and everything? Is it
Yeah.
pretty simple? Like, because that's the thing is like I was like Tropico 5 because I downloaded it as well. I've not played it yet, but I was like on PS4. That's a weird thing. Like I don't know. Sim games always seem at home on PC naturally.
to me they work well. Like
yeah,
you hit,
I watched him play it for a little bit.
you hit triangle and it brings up your build menu, and then you kind of scroll through with the shoulder buttons, and then like it's a wheel for like your what you're creating
Okay.
and stuff, and then like in the actual game you're using shoulder buttons to like bring up different
I mean, I guess it is
menus
just
and
the
stuff.
grid, so you just snap
Yeah,
everything
and
to a grid.
not to mention like you can yeah, it's all like on a grid. Everything kind of like intuitively goes. Like that's the thing. I can't tell if because I haven't played enough sim games. Like I can't tell if stuff like some of this stuff feels like things that they kind of pulled from the limited good things they pulled from the new Sim City stuff like that, or if it's just been in sim games for a while. Like the way kind of roads kind of intuitively path to one another and stuff like that if you're creating roads.
Yeah, it's been in a lot of games.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't tell. But yeah, no, they all work, and of course you can just straight up pause time. So if you're having like an issue finding something or whatever, just put pause
That's
on
good.
and then you just look for it or whatever. So yeah, I wanna play a little bit more of this. It definitely feels like a game that's like not necessarily relaxing, but just definitely a game where it's like I don't really have to think too much about it. But also I remember
You don't have to pay like a whole bunch of attention to it.
yeah, I remember playing this the little bit that I played of it that I'm really bad at sim games. Like I'm just constantly in debt all the time and just constantly like doing the wrong things or whatever like that. Because I don't know. Don't put me in charge of anything. Don't,
Fair enough. There we go.
don't put me in charge of anything.
All right, you're not gonna end the podcast.
You're
this
not
week.
gonna lead
Oh,
your
man.
own. You're not gonna lead your own Banana Republic in real life, then.
No, unfortunately. Oddly enough, my Banana Republic does not grow bananas. It's got
tobacco.
tobacco.
Oh
Yes, I had a pineapple.
An order.
I had a pineapple. Yeah, I had a pineapple plantation, and then
cheated.
and
You
then
pulled
the-
the classic like corrupt dictator.
yeah,
and just kind of cheated the system.
The ambassador from the crown showed up and was like,
The crown, Lord Henry.
was like
what's
the king wants you would like you to grow tobacco so that he can fund
So-
his underwater palace.
So grow a new
create
make
a ranch
make
that's
a new
tobacco, and I was
plantation.
like, I'm just gonna turn this pineapple ranch into a tobacco ranch, and literally it
Change the
took like
setting.
2 seconds, and then I got that
Then
objective.
it approved, and then he
well,
could
there you go,
just change it back again.
there you go,
Nice.
done.
I mean, yeah, it's the definition. Banana Republic just means you grow one type of whatever. a
Well,
lot, so.
yeah. Was this-
Also, there a store you can buy pretty nice suits that are based off. Used to be based off of Mad Men. They had a Mad Men collection for a while.
At Banana Republic.
At Banana Republic, they
yeah,
did for a while.
I remember that.
That's thinking about it, that's a really weird name to name a retail store. It's Banana Republic.
It's
like Banana Republic's kind of a horrible thing.
I so divorced Banana Republic. Like it's just
the terminology.
the
from
terminology.
store.
I never thought about it. Obviously I knew I've heard that term before in referring to like Central American and Caribbean based countries, but it seems like more of a Cold War era term. I'm not saying that it's never used at all anymore, but it's just more of a term that way. And so when I look at the store, I never even thought about it until really recently.
Yeah, other interesting stuff.
That's called like a store of the Cold War.
You can create you create your little avatar, your little dictator avatar,
Third
and
World
then
Republic.
he basically has kids and then continues down and whatever. So right now I'm in the I'm the Ming Dynasty.
The Mang
The
Dynasty.
Ming Dynasty, and
Nice.
I had a son.
At Kiko_Mang on Twitter.
And he's running the sugar plantation on there, so things are looking...
Sugar? I thought you only did pineapples.
I do a lot of things.
I don't like this.
He's
You're supposed to grow one thing.
He's diversifying.
I also cut down trees, lumber.
That's crazy.
That's why don't put me in charge of anything.
Because you just
Obviously,
do everything.
because I'm
Hey,
just
you're
not
running a
good.
Banana Republic,
We're gonna
aka
need-
you should grow one type of fruit only. I'm growing sugar. I'm growing
growing
tobacco.
everything.
If
We
you
need
want it.
pineapple. We got banana trees growing here. Also,
Lumber.
we're cutting down trees for lumber.
I got a
Don't ask me how we get. This is gonna
I
be
got
good.
a tavern. One tavern.
You also made a Catholic mission.
Oh
I
yeah.
watch you make that because they're like
I wasn't
they're like
happy about
the lady was like
the lady was like,
like,
for some
the
reason.
people like religion.
Yeah, he was like,
who knows why? It's
yeah,
it is a mystery.
he was like, oh yeah. There was also a really weird, thing. Oh yes, it was when I was researching rancher upgrades. My advisor, he was like, oh my goodness, the people, they stole my novel idea about two men who go up and create a ranch on a mountain to do male bonding or whatever.
Oh.
I admit that the whole idea seemed a bit queer, and I'm like, oh, this is a joke about Brokeback Mountain.
Remember that
Well,
movie?
man, what topical humor?
What's
Well-
next? He's gonna quote like the Hulk movie. Like,
Well, I watched the launch trailer for this, just because that's what you do. And
Sure,
then
okay.
it was literally the scene from Pirates of the Caribbean where Jack Sparrow's on the ship and then he comes into port and then they're like, "Oh, you're the worst pirate I've ever seen," but replace pirate with dictator. And it's the guy who's on the cover of Tropico with dreadlocks and like a pirate outfit.
that's references.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean,
again, topical.
we understand those references still.
And
Yeah.
it's gonna be like, have you heard there's a new actor playing James Bond? Daniel Craig. Whoa.
Somebody's gonna throw banana peels at him and he's gonna like dodge out of the way in slow motion of it.
Man,
References.
was it recently? Well, oh yeah, it was the Sony stuff. All the Sony things had to have Morpheus and Neo. And
Oh yeah.
Because the last thing that any Sony executive has seen was The Matrix.
Yep.
That was popular. The kids love The Matrix.
Kids love the Matrix.
So yeah, that was it.
That's what I played. Some Dark Souls.
Of course.
I mentioned
but
some Dark Souls.
That's whatever.
Hey, we got the podcast is up now.
Yeah.
That was gone. I mean, like we didn't really talk about it, but I was sick last week, obviously, and I didn't get to.
Well, it wasn't up yet either, right?
I mean, I listened to it.
I didn't actually. I'm a terrible friend.
No, that's fine. I mean, again, I don't know how much you're gonna get out of it if you don't know Dark Souls, but
Yeah,
like,
I don't know much about that. I know
It's
Matt
just a
knows
way
more.
so I don't spend
I just know enough
minutes
from
on
just watching a
time.
bunch of Let's Plays of it.
minutes at a
So I
time
can't play that
talking
game.
about it
That game's
on
too hard.
whatever. It's a great game. But yeah, look for it on the site. As for the rest, this episode 2 is also now on SoundCloud. It'll be on the site soon. So
Yay!
yeah,
Check it out.
You know, it's also about building empires.
What?
Factorio.
Oh,
Factorio?
Man. Yeah.
I don't actually know what this game is. Tell me about it.
So here you go. Everything I love in Stardew Valley is in this game.
Imagine if you could.
Is it condensed?
Everything,
Stuff?
everything that I hate about Stardew Valley is not in this game.
Remember, like the talking to people and like,
Yes.
the giving people gifts where you could have made the money.
All the
instead
social
of-
aspects.
Yeah.
Going to a mine and fighting monsters.
Remember how you like had like fight monsters
Mhm.
and you didn't have just like droids or turrets that would fight the monsters for you?
Okay.
Do you remember the part of Stardew Valley where you'd like walk from place to place and you couldn't just like take a car or a train to the location that
Okay,
you
all
wanted to
right,
go
yes.
to?
Why are you guys telling me all this
Well,
stuff?
Factorio is just the min-maxing.
Just give me the min-maxing.
min-maxing.
So
Just
wait,
give it to
what's
me.
like what does this game
Okay,
look
so
like?
the game looks like the graphics aren't like the highest resolution. They're kind of like a
A
nice
game has no name.
It looks like it looks like it kind
The
of looks
man will give the game back its sight.
it looks like what do you call it? It looks kind of like it reminds me of Roller Coaster Tycoon, the original one.
But how many
like,
lives
nicer.
did you take from the Red God?
So many. Listen, you're crash landed on Mars.
Ethan
You
is
gotta
the
build.
prince.
You gotta.
Ethan
You
is
gotta
the
build.
prince.
You gotta build a rocket ship. You gotta get up to space.
This
That's your
sounds
goal.
like too much story for a game where
That's
you're just
it. No, I'm done. I'm
It's
done.
not. It's
That's
not. It's not
That's it.
Mars.
That's
I don't
all the
think.
story.
Is it really Mars?
I don't know. It might be Mars. Who cares? It's on
It's
the
a
planet.
fake bug planet.
It's fake bug planet. Listen,
Just bugs.
you start off. All you have is the mining pick. So you go. You mine some trees. You're like, cool. I got some trees.
That's weird. How do you mine
and
trees?
then you whatever. You chop down trees. Whatever is
with
your
a pick.
with an axe, a pickaxe.
Man, he's
Oh.
really
Yeah.
effective with this. With
It's
this
a
pick.
two.
Honestly, I don't know. He just hits it. Who
Okay.
cares? And then
This
you're
is,
like,
is
and then
this
you-
a Minecraft?
and almost. And then
Okay.
you're
But
like,
just min-maxing.
I'm gonna go. Well, to build like anything I need, I'm gonna get some of this this iron. I'm gonna get some of this iron. So I'm just gonna go in and mine some of
Ethan's
this iron.
creeping me out right now.
And you get some of this iron, and you're like, man, that was a pain in the ass to get the iron. What if I automated it with this mining drill that requires coal to use?
But you gotta get coal though.
So let me go mine some coal real quick. Build this with the iron I have. Build a little mine. Put it on the iron. I'm gonna automate this coal as well. Put that both on there.
And
then you're like,
automatically.
ah,
But how
well,
do you get the coal
here's the
all the
thing.
way from the coal mine over to the iron
And you're
mine?
like, I can build these conveyor belts out of this iron I've been making.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
this is great. All right, let me build these conveyor belts so they go together. Oh,
But how are you gonna power all this?
well, I
You
need
gotta
the
power-
coal.
How are you gonna power? Like, you need, like-
Well, you see, after a while, I get a little bit more, and then
And all of a sudden there's a factory.
all of a sudden, now I'm building furnaces, which are powered by coal to smelt the iron, and I got these arms that
iron
grab
bars,
that grab
grabby
off the conveyor
arms.
belt, put it into the iron, the smelter, take it out of the smelter, put it on another belt. That belt goes into another thing. Arm takes it out, puts it into a box. I use that box. I collect the boxes, and then I invent electricity. And now I'm going to the water, building a pump. That pump turns into a boiler, which then heats up the water high enough so the steam engine works. I then connect the steam engine, and I use some of the wood I chopped down, and then start connecting electric poles together, and now I have electricity. So I get rid of those old coal, gross burning things, and I burn into electricity. So now I don't have to refuel them manually. I just refuel them at one point only. Also, I can take all those conveyor belts and put them next to where I have to put that coal in, get some hands, and automatically, on its own, fuel itself. And then the next
Petrol
step.
motion machine.
Then we move on.
So is this this?
So now we have automatic production. So now we start using those hands and putting in things, and I don't have to craft
stop
anything
him,
by
if we don't
myself.
stop him, he's
And
gonna
then
bring
once we
himself
start
to
crafting
orgasm.
those
I'm
things,
just gonna say that right now.
Oh my god.
and then you take the thing out of the production and you stick it on another production thing, and it makes those. Remember those
Ethan
hands
is
you had to
getting
build by
so
yourself?
red
We need
right
to,
now.
we need to
Turn those
run
things.
away, Ricardo. We need either run away or stop him right now.
So
It's everything.
is
hey,
it-
wait.
So this is about building an efficiency machine, or is this about building a Rube Goldberg
It
style?
builds-
mix of the two, honestly.
Like,
It's both.
It's both. It's
And
both.
it builds itself.
oh wait, so
And
does
then-
anything ever go wrong with these machines?
So
and
things
stuff?
can go wrong is you A, run out of fuel on certain things. B, monsters come in and attack them. All you gotta do is put up some guns and fill them with ammo.
Bugs.
Bugman attack them. But you
That's
get
it.
these, get,
So apparently, too, the bugs respond to pollution specifically. That the more pollution you start pouring into the atmosphere, the bugs that live on this planet that you've crash landed on
Get kinda
start
mad.
realizing that like you are like polluting their environment and start attacking you. So you are like this foreign invader coming in and like setting up this big like factory on this bug planet and like
Is this-
massacring their
Listen.
people and like
listen.
Is this
It's all
a
part of the cause.
is this a political commentary?
Maybe, but I'm awesome at it.
it's
By
still
awesome
early
at it-
access, right?
No, it's not. I think it's
Oh,
out
done.
fully.
Is it done now? Okay,
I think it's done. It doesn't say early access on it. Matt bought this for my birthday, by the way. Which thank you, Matt.
Oh, you're welcome.
I lost
Cool.
a total of 10 hours to this game
I
already.
knew immediately. I was like, as I was like looking at like what things like you wanted for your birthday, and like could I get him a game? What should I get him? And then I was like, wait a minute, he'll like Factorio. And I was like, it's on your wish list already, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a bad
perfect.
idea. I shouldn't
yeah,
get him.
yeah,
I
God.
shouldn't get him this.
Here's my thing. There are some weird minor issues with the game.
Okay.
Some of the minor
doesn't
issues
seem
are
How old is this game? Is this
brand new.
released?
It's
Brand
like
new.
it's, like, it was early access at least a couple months ago.
yeah. So there's a couple issues with sometimes the automation breaks. So I was trying to make conveyor belts automatically, and the arm would like not move from this box I had, but I was putting other stuff in. It would not move into the automator and drop stuff in there automatically. So I was like, what's going on? And so I had to take it out, replace it a couple times, and now it works fine. I don't know what's going on with that.
Weird.
Just
you got,
like
you
any
got drones
factory.
yet? You got drones
I
yet?
have not gotten drones yet. They're drones?
You should see the quick look that Giant Bomb did because
Oh, I'm sure it gets
because
crazy.
as crazy as you are, Vinny
No,
is
no.
Vinny is like there is
Oh, I
like
know.
you're like at your level or maybe a step above.
Here's the
And,
thing: it's like at some point I got overwhelmed a little bit, and I was like, all the iron's gone. Abandon this base. We must move on. So now I'm walking across the path, and I'm like, that was the thing where I stopped. I stopped right before I was like, all right, it's time to build base number 2.
are you doing like the story mission stuff or is
I did the story mission stuff for a bit, and then I got to this part where it was
It
like,
kind of teaches you how to play basically.
yeah, it's like you could either play free play or you can do this next story mission, which is like, I don't know, you got to explore this area, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do free play. So I did free play, and the interesting thing is that the
I
way
like how
the,
it's
the tech
free
tree
play
works.
to essentially just build an efficiency machine.
Yeah, free play is basically build an efficiency machine. Well, free play has a goal where you have to launch off the planet. So it's just like get enough research. And the way the research works is kind of weird because you have to build different parts. And so you can automate all your research and then have it automatically. I just love how much automation you can have. Like, it's really weird how much I love it because just going down the conveyor belts and just you eventually get like smart conveyor belts or inserters, they're called, where they could figure out what you want them to pick up and they'll pick it up automatically as opposed to just grabbing everything stupidly and putting it into a box. This game's gross.
It sounds kind of neat.
It's
like,
really neat, and all the animation
I
is really
want to
smooth.
see your progress
It's okay.
visually.
It's okay.
Visually.
Stream
I'll
it.
feel better about it later.
I think we need to have
I
a.
can stream it.
Well, part of the reason that I thought it'd be a good thing to get for you is that I think that would be a good video. There's some good video material out of you playing that game.
And the other thing is the world is
You're the right kind of person.
I mean,
for
this
that
is
game.
the
okay.
man. This is the man who tried to build the most efficient Animal Crossing village with
So much so that we shook his trees and took one like
well, at
one
this point,
thing
like
of
I've
trees.
noticed
He
how
was
much
like,
more I
No, what are you doing?
At this point, I've realized like how much more efficient I could have built my base, and I'm just like, this base sucks. I'm just gonna get it so where
That's
it,
kind of how I
runs
feel
on
with
its own.
That's kind of how I feel with my place at Tropico, but I'm the type of guy who's just like, screw it, we'll just try and fix it as it goes on.
See, I'm just
whatever."
like, I want to set this up so it's self-sufficient, so I got enough conveyor belts and everything's automatically feeding itself, and it'll run for a while. And I'm gonna leave and go to this other place and get all the iron ore I need because there's tons of iron ore over at this place next door. Also, the map is infinite, so it just keeps generating forever. So you can just never stop playing, and then you just die playing this game, optimizing everything, and that's your life. It is crazy addictive. Just how it just taps into that part of you that's just like, look at how satisfying it is. Just optimize this thing. You know that thing that
when you're satisfied.
You know that thing that was bugging you, and how much of a pain it was to like always fill up that coal on all your furnaces. You can just optimize that. You just get this ability. You can just do that. It's simple. You don't have to worry about it. You know how this is the thing? You just upgrade everything. It's just constant upgrades.
Yeah, that's one thing that was in Stardew Valley right now. Like, I've gotten a giant farm, and at the beginning of our season, I have to now go to the store, buy a bajillion million seeds, and then manually plant all the seeds. And it takes like more than 1 day of time, which is a long amount of time in Stardew Valley. And it's like, this is like not like the point of having a farm this big is
what if you have
fun and cool, and I can't even do it now.
What if you had little hands?
What if you had little
automated hands? Just grab things off
Is there
the
nothing?
seeds.
Do they not have anything like that in Stardew Valley?
I mean, they optimize. There are some things you can optimize, like the sprinklers are really nice, automatically water everything.
But like, there's
But
no
it's
like
not. It's
mechanical
not. It's
like
not on the same
seeder
level.
or anything.
No, there's a seed maker, but there's not an automatic seeder. It's not. It's not. That's the thing. Stardew Valley is just like a taste, and I knew I wanted more. Factorio gives me all that I desired.
It's always great.
Getting into creepy
You know
territory.
what though? It is always great when you like play a game and you're like, man, I really like this element of this game. I wish there was a game that was just this game.
And then there is.
That's the thing is that Factorio is too much that game for me.
Honestly, I look at that and I look at the research tab and I'm like, oh god, there's like circuits. What does these circuits do? Is this gonna be? Is this gonna be a nightmarish thing? What are these circuits things? I don't know.
Yeah. See, for me, Stardew Valley is the perfect game in that regard because like I get I'm not quite Ethan level, but I get a kick out of min maxing stuff myself. But I looked at Factorio. I did a lot of research on Factorio before I bought it for Ethan, and I was like, "This, I would never like this game. This is too much for me."
Oh, I bet you would.
But Ethan would.
It's a little I'll admit it is a little overwhelming at sometimes because there's just like the amount of optimizing you have to do and the amount of like, I have to plan this properly.
It's not even just the
At some point, I figured out like all those furnaces, I converted them to electric furnaces, or not electric furnaces, but like more efficient furnaces. So I had to rip them all out, figure out like, okay, well, I want to place them here, I want to place them here. I'm going to have this one automatically grabbing coal from this bolt and putting it into here so I never have to refuel it manually. And then I want it to also grab another hand to come over here and grab this.
Well, it's not even the overwhelmingness of it sometimes. It's just that there has to be, for me at least, there has to be a pretend like goal.
There is a pretend goal.
Like as opposed to just like make a more efficient thing so that you can make a more efficient thing. Like that's like the only goal of it.
But I do
Factorio's thing is like make a more efficient factory so that your factory is more efficient, so you can make a more efficient factory so that you can get a more efficient factory.
Yeah, and that's
like and so for me it's like Stardew Valley has enough of like fake like go down to the mine and like how far can you get and
enough side things.
Be friends with this piece of people. And it's like enough things I can pretend like it's not just because I want.
But what if that system's super robust? It has just tons of replay value, and you can just tons of make it better.
Then I'm more power to you.
That's cool. That's cool. I like when you find that perfect game for yourself.
Yeah, or just watch Game of Thrones and just min-max everything. I also played a game called Uncharted 2.
You sound so sad about that.
No, I mean,
Uncharted 2.
Until 4 came out, I'm pretty sure most consider that to be the
that
best
was widely considered to be the best.
I got to about the same part I got to last time when Matt used to live with me, and I played off.
I
played off his PS3 because there was a version too. It was like another collection version.
Yeah,
right?
well, Amber also had the collection version. I think we might have borrowed that or something.
Maybe. Yeah, I think you might have. So I was playing it off
the
that.
First
but then
one,
I
remember we played all through way through that.
Yeah, I played the first one all the way
both
through.
Amber and I, and then I watched you play a lot of that.
Yeah. And that was good.
The
but
first
then
one's fine. But
it's
the
fine.
Second one's definitely a lot of improvements.
The second one improves on a lot, but it's weird playing that again. The HD version, I'm playing on the PS4. They had like because I saw all those Uncharted reviews, and I was like, man, I really want to kind of play the Uncharted 4 game.
Yeah.
But
you gotta know the story.
Even though the story doesn't really matter.
I know, but you gotta know it.
I gotta know it.
I at least want to play 2. It's well done. Like
yeah.
the interactions between the different characters in it, because they're
Yeah.
like performance captured with actually really talented performers. It's cool. Like
I
want
want to. I want to finish 2, and I'll probably touch 3. I don't know if I'll finish it. I might just watch the end, and then I'm probably gonna jump into 4 and see how that's actually like. But I mean, I got to the same part I was at 2, and I was like, yeah, this game is pretty good. But then I played like some of the climbing sections and stuff, and I'm like, this doesn't feel as good as Tomb Raider though.
I feel
I feel like the climbing stuff is
It's
really
good.
cool.
It's just Tomb Raider's come around, and it's like
Amber and I still haven't beat Tomb Raider. What's it called? Rise of the Tomb
Rise of the
Raider.
Raider?
I feel like that and Uncharted go on too long.
yeah.
Like they're not
Maybe.
even like bad. Like it's not because the game is bad.
Kind of wear out.
Is
the
it
It's
you?
just like-
Is
it's
it
like-
you?
You just kind of
Or is
like
it the game?
it's probably me. It's probably me.
There's
but like,
only
but
so much you can
But
maintain that level.
I
of-
remember we had this problem when Amber and I played Uncharted 1. It was just like, is this game
Uncharted
gonna,
1
is this
does-
gonna, is this gonna end?
The
like,
end
we
of every
wanna just,
Uncharted
like,
game, from what I heard, is kind of.
But it happens in 2, it happens in 3, and it happens in 4 apparently as well. That it's just kind of like it's like, oh, okay, the game's almost over. Oh no,
No,
wait,
we're gonna have to do some
we're
fighting.
still doing some stuff. Like it,
I thought Rise of
it's
Tomb
just-
Raider actually had a pretty quick end.
we haven't
honestly.
got to the end, but like we got to the midpoint. It just kind of we're like I think we're like 2/3 of the way through it. Is what we're at. We're close to the end, 3/4 maybe. But for some reason we just stopped playing it. It wasn't. We didn't even have a discussion of like, oh, this game is getting
Y'all
boring.
got busy. Y'all took a vacation.
It's true. A bunch of that stuff happened too. But
So, are you enjoying? Uncharted
I'm
2?
enjoying it so far.
And do you think that you'll play through
I'm gonna-
2 Uncharted 4?
I'm probably gonna make. I'm not. I honestly don't think I'm gonna beat 3. I'll probably play 3 because I've heard 3 is good, but
3
it's like
good, but it's it's
3 is apparently more. It's like, oh yeah, that was fine.
But
it
I'd
was
rather
good.
have
It was
4
good.
at that point, like where it's like
But-
I'd rather just have the improved version.
It's,
Plus,
I'm-
2,
I'm-
like honestly, playing 2, they don't do like any. There's no character story or anything. It's just like we're just gonna find this treasure and we're gonna talk about it.
That's the thing is like I'm so torn because I feel like I'm the sort of person who has to like watch all the movies in front of a movie before
Me
I can
too,
like
yeah.
watch like the third one, and
Same.
and with games the same way.
That's why Ant-Man's over there.
Yeah, I know,
Before I
right?
bought Civil War.
Ant-Man.
So before I watched Civil War.
I haven't seen Ant-Man. I haven't seen a bunch of the other ones, so I need to like see a bunch of stuff before I can see Civil War now. And like the more things that get added onto that pile, all of a sudden the less
Just
I
puts
want
it-
to.
Yeah, it
play
turns
the
you off a
whole,
little bit.
The less I want to watch or play the whole.
That's how I
thing.
felt. But also, this was a
And with
very.
Uncharted, it's like I know the stories aren't that relative. I know they don't like require you to know all the stuff about the previous games.
But
It's just like I
to
want
have
to kind
us-
of like know what's going on.
yeah, and like it, and I think I think 4 specifically banks on you having
Played
some
them.
level of affection for
Yeah,
these characters. and
especially
having-
Nathan Drake.
That's the thing is like my younger brother Raph, he bought Uncharted 2 at like release, loved it, went back and played 1 and then played 3. So he loves these games. So like I'm really excited to hear his reaction like for 4 once he plays it.
I hear
but,
4 is
like,
really good.
But I have
You
just
wanna
I
hear.
just don't
It's
have
probably
any
the best one.
I don't
Yeah.
really have any affection or attachment to the series. So despite the fact that I hear it's a good game, I just look at it and I'm just like, yeah, that's a good
The
game.
PS4
I
doesn't play
probably
PS3
don't-
games, right?
No, but they have
No.
the Uncharted.
Yeah, they
they
have
have
the
the
collection.
Uncharted collection for PS4,
And I can let you borrow it too whenever I'm done if you want.
which has 1.
Oh,
through,
did you buy it?
3.
Yeah, I
The
picked
whole-
it up.
the
It
whole
was
collection. Okay.
Yeah, it was. I looked it up because I was thinking about Uncharted. I'm like, man, maybe I should get that game. I was like, I wonder how much the Nathan Drake collection is, and it was on sale at Best Buy for $20. And I was like,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I wonder though, right? The people who are reviewing it now and saying how amazing Uncharted 4 is haven't played Uncharted in 2-3 years.
yeah.
The one thing that I was worried about is, well, I want to play all the games before I play Uncharted 3. So I've played 1, so let's just say 2, 3. If I play through 2 and then through 3 and then play 4, will 4 be really that amazing?
That's
to me at
kind of
that
what I'm
point?
thinking.
And that's what I'm really worried about.
It
'cause
might
I'm
be
like,
fatigue at that.
That's
you know
why
what
I don't
mean?
wanna
Like, it
play
would
all
be
3.
Like, maybe I should just jump straight to 4 just because it would actually be amazing at that point, and
And
not-
if you're still
just
like
more of this.
into it at that point, maybe go back
because
and play.
as
the
much
other
as people have
ones.
been showering praise on 4, they have been saying it's got a lot of the same stuff that the
Some
Well,
of
other
the
I mean,
issues,
yeah,
yeah.
and I've heard so much about like it's the perfect end to the Nathan Drake like series
That's
and
what
the
I said about
perfect end, and I'm
3.
just like,
People said 3 was like
and I'm
that,
just
too.
like, oh, but I don't like I
don't
think
care.
Nathan Drake's cool and like I love Nolan North and stuff, but I don't really have it. Again, I'm excited to see what my little brother thinks about it. But not feeling the Drake necessarily.
What about the Hotline Bling though?
Oh, when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing.
Listen, I'm excited to continue playing this game, but I don't know, man. I played this and then I got Factorio, and it's like, nah.
Yeah, isn't that bad? Like when you get a few games that you're like, I know both these games are great, and like I should be playing this other one too because it's great, but I'm really just feeling this one. I'm really feeling this one a lot.
Min-max everything.
A lot.
Min-max.
Matt, min-maxing?
So
I haven't been playing some more Stardew Valley since like the last time we talked about it, which was a while ago.
Because now you actually are back home. You have your computer and stuff again.
He's back home because we're sitting next to him.
Yep, it's true. Here I
Yep,
am.
we're in Matt's home now.
Well, no, but I'm within drivable distance of the location where we record.
You could have driven from where you were before. It would have been very far though.
It would have been a 10-hour drive. It would have been a little bit of a long, maybe like 8 hours. So yeah, I've been playing. Well, last week you guys talked about Overwatch.
Yes, we did.
I was not. Let me express how annoyed I was that I was sick last week of all weeks. One, it was Mother's Day when I got sick.
Yeah.
That sucked because like me and Amber had like seriously legit plans for our mothers. Like we were gonna invite them over. Like we were gonna have like full brunch cooked for them and their husbands, and then our families, and like it's like this big old thing.
You mean your dads?
Well, yeah.
You're making me feel like an asshole
You
too,
jerk.
because like
Why didn't you do that?
my
Ricardo?
mom, it's like, let's
Why
go
didn't
to
you do
Wood
that?
Ranch.
That's basically what I did. I was like,
here's
hey
a
mom,
mug.
let's go to this Italian restaurant. Also, it's my birthday, so we're gonna split this check. Anyway,
Wait a minute! Whoa!
okay, to be fair, well, we just combined. That's not bad. We combined the two. Look, my birthday is literally a day after Mother's Day.
Wait, why are we even surprised that this was the case?
Why is that weird? That's not weird.
You're right, Ricardo. It's really on us.
That's not
Ricardo's
weird. That's
really
not
right.
weird. I was like, she's like, oh, well, I'm taking off your.
Min-maxing his life.
No, see, but if I celebrate Mother's Day close enough to my birthday, I might be able to get my mom to split the check with me.
That's not true.
You're the one who's
Listen. You guys think I'm just like this
Listen,
weird
Linda.
cheap person that lives in my own like weird cheap
Yes,
world?
okay.
But you know who I got this from? My mom. So my mom was like, "You want to split the check?" And I'm like, "All right." And then we went, and then we got this.
No,
bakery.
if your mom was really like you, she would have been like, "So you're paying for this whole thing, right?"
No, because I thought the same thing. I was like, "I'll buy something for you, mom," and she's like, "Well, I'll buy something for you, Ethan. What do you want?" I'm like, "I want food." She's like, "I want food too."
Yeah, no, Ethan does want food.
Okay.
That holds up.
The story checks out.
Story checks out. Listen,
It's still funny.
It is funny.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I fully believe that your mom
Anyway.
was totally cool with this, and that was fine. I don't disagree with that aspect of it. It's just hilarious to me.
Oh, never
Also,
mind.
why is your TV box still there? Your TV's out of the box now.
Listen,
Don't
are
need-
we questioning Ricardo's room? Why do you have the sock on the snowball still?
Oh, because when I record Estes, I'm
I
like,
hadn't noticed that.
I feel like I was popping too much, so then I threw over an old.
Listen,
sock
Yo,
with
this
a hole in
podcast
it.
is popping too much.
We used to use socks for our stuff. We
I
can't
know, but it just looks funny that you still have it on there. So you just have
I
this
know,
like
I
Oh my
should-
gosh.
it's not very
That
presentable.
went off the rails real quick. Anyway, the point was
Overwatch.
I was sick for Mother's Day. I was sick for the podcast. It was a really sucky weekend. And I was
Yeah,
upset
man,
because
you
last
were-
week a ton of stuff happened.
Yeah.
We watched a bunch of cool trailers, Overwatch beta, and
guess
I
that's it.
played. Yeah, I guess that was it. I don't know. Nothing else happened. You drank beer for the first time as I
the
burped.
first time I've ever had beer.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
No, but
Yeah,
no, man. It's for reference.
So I just want to
Matt,
say a
like,
few comments about that
He
beta.
really wanted to be on the podcast, but he was apparently dying
I was really dying
because he was like, "I'm gonna wait until the last minute to tell you guys whether I'm
I
coming
was
or
I was
not,
seriously
'cause
considering.
I'm dying,
I was,
but I want to do the podcast."
I was very considering going anyway, but the thing was I couldn't eat any food because of sickness
feel
reasons.
ya.
Stomach
I
reasons,
feel
yeah.
ya.
And I was like, well, if I go, I'm not gonna be able to eat any food, and gonna be.
And that's all we do here. We drink beer and we eat food.
Yeah,
We just have fun. We just have.
I couldn't have drunk any beer, that's for sure. So anyway, the point being, Overwatch. You guys talked a lot about it last week, so I won't really go too much over the fact.
I mean,
but I will say
that game
is. I think everyone else has said it all over the internet, so it's not much point in going it. But like, it's something about how, gosh, like everything in that game works together with itself so well. Like, it seems like the word polish is extremely overused in terms of like talking about game design.
Welcome to Blizzard games, though.
Yeah,
they have the highest level of polish.
But it seriously is like, and the weird thing about it is to me though is that like I couldn't find a single character I loved. Mm-hmm. Like I liked playing as Mercy. Mm-hmm. I thought that playing as Reaper was like okay. I thought playing as Devo was like okay. But I couldn't find like in TF2 and similar games. You find your class and you're like, oh yeah, this is it. I got good at this now. I'm good at this one. I like this class. I couldn't really find that with Overwatch, and I will totally admit, as like a downside to it, a lot of the weapons feel kind of like squishy in a weird way. Like a lot of the weapons feel imprecise, or like there's a very generous like auto aim, or auto aim is the wrong word, but like it's not like moving your cursor for you.
Yeah, it's all
there's a very like
it's all hip firing. Like,
yeah,
first of all. Unless you play as Widowmaker.
Yeah, so
or I guess Hanzo too, kind of.
Yeah, so there's a kind of a weird kind of like a lot of the bullets don't have a lot of like the sound is really good too. But like a lot of the books don't have like the impact, like I guess, like you know what I mean. Mm-hmm.
I know what you're talking about.
It's hard to describe. It's hard to explain.
I know what you're talking about because like I play Soldier 76, for example, and like his pulse rifle seems like it should be taking guys down a lot quicker than it does, but it's not. He's not. But it's not. It doesn't.
And Tracer's gun is the same way. Of like you have to unload a lot of rounds. Like I mean, obviously she's a fast, kind of light character, so she's not going to be very strong. I know that, but it's just kind of like this weird. There's this weird softness to the guns, but it's not that these are small, minor nitpicks in what is like even like in these sort of things would affect my enjoyment of a game normally, and they didn't at all in Overwatch. I enjoyed it immensely even when I was losing, which for me is a big deal because like I hate losing and I'm terrible. I'm a terrible sport when it comes to playing games. Don't say anything, Ethan. I see you.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I know.
I was thinking about the beer.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, yeah, no. I'm aware I'm a terrible sport. I'm aware I'm a bad loser. And I didn't mind it as much playing in this game. The one time that it sucked was when someone else was like, "Dude, you suck at this game. You suck." And like, it's like, dude, what?
Was I there for that?
That was
no. It was one time. You were not there for that. No,
okay.
That was the same way. Like I had played a round where I was playing Mercy, and then like
exactly. I was playing Mercy.
And at first they were kind of like banging on me, but then we won, and like I had some pretty critical games in there, and then we played another round, and I was like, all right, we're defense. I think I'm gonna try out Symmetra, and then like we did terrible, and then we're like, our Symmetra is just like really bad.
That's so weird.
Like,
I didn't experience any of that.
Like, our Symmetra is like really bad.
It was seriously.
It was one instance.
It was seriously again. It was one instance for me too.
I'm lucky if I get anyone to talk at all.
Yeah, they were on the text chat, not on the voice.
For me, it was voice
because I was on PC, so it was text. But yeah, it was a one-time thing. It was really infuriating though, because our entire team was bad. I'm not saying I was playing well or anything like that. But we lost, but our entire team was bad. And then like to have someone at the very end of the match, like trash on you as if you were.
I get it.
As if the healer was the reason you lost. It's like, what the hell, dude?
No, that's
like,
the thing.
I was
is
here,
like
healing you guys, just doing my thing, and dying.
And it's a team thing where it's like we've been down. Like people because they're AFK or whatever like that before, and we still did well. Like we did well and won the round or whatever. So like, I hate it when people do like, trash on their one teammate or whatever.
Anyway, I say all this stuff because all the stuff that you guys said last week was incredibly accurate and on point for me in terms of like despite these minor nitpicks that I have. I pretty much
like online gaming, honestly.
I pretty much loved the game in the beta. I just really hope that MOBA mentality does not seep. I know that HOTS Heroes of the Storm is like really, really light on its crappy community as opposed to like Dota
as opposed
and
to
other
Dota,
places. But it's still got that
does.
community, and I really hope that does not seep in any way to this game, because this game is so fun, so casual, 2, 3, 4, like 5-minute rounds, like really quick. Like you know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to become like, play your class, do your thing, you suck, you're bad at this game. Like, I don't care. I just want to play and have fun. Like,
that's the thing is,
like, that's why I didn't mind losing.
When you guys have been talking,
game,
talking about this stuff, is I'm like, I've never heard any of that. Like, this thing, maybe because I'm the person who does that in my head. I don't actually say it to anyone.
No, I do it in my head.
Yeah,
as well,
I've totally gone. Oh man, this guy, this. Why is this?
This guy's alt sucks. What did you waste your time?
What's the freaking turret dude? Trollboyne?
Tollburn?
No,
Tollburn.
Tollburn, yeah.
Oh, Tollburn.
Yeah, like, why is he building a turret there? Why is he building a turret? That's a stupid place to build a turret. I've totally done that, but to actually actively
people are always gonna do that.
I mean,
people even TF2 even did that. Like, that's the thing we forget.
Yeah, sure.
I think the thing is, like, you're thinking like the mobile community is like the worst, which they definitely
are. It is the worst.
Well, I totally agree with that.
Don't ever forget.
I will never. I'll never
forget.
Trust me, as someone who's played Heroes of the Storm quite often, including last week. It's definitely the worst. But we gotta forget that even in Call of Duty, like, people are like, "My team sucks," and it's like, it's Call of Duty. Like, your team doesn't even matter, honestly. So I mean, people are always going to blame everyone else.
30-5 and win the whole thing.
Yeah, people are always going to blame their team, no matter what. That's just online gaming. Like, people suck. Sure. But then there are also people who are awesome and are hilarious, and it's like, this person's great. No, they stick on my team.
No, I 100% enjoyed Overwatch. The one thing that right now, at least currently, is bumming me about Overwatch is that I didn't find in the beta. I played almost every character. I didn't play everyone, but I played almost every character, and I didn't find one that I was like really in love with. See, and I bought the game. I'm sold on the game. I'm ready to play the game, and I liked the fact that I could play multiple characters, and I didn't feel like, oh, I have to play this one character I like. I did like the fact that there were multiple ones that were like decent. Mm-hmm. None of them I felt like immediately clicked. Like, I couldn't like.
I kind of like that though, because it means that you're not just gonna sit there on one character the whole time.
Yeah,
because it's like, if you click on a character, that means that character's too good at everything.
I guess.
And it's like, that character needs to not be good at everything, because there needs to be some sort of balance to it.
I guess. I just felt mediocre at everything, though. It's like,
I feel that way too, but it's like, you feel mediocre because you're okay, and then someone comes along and just murders you over and over again. You're like, well, this person's just going to beat me over and over again.
That freaking Genji on that 1 or 2 maps that we played.
Yes, I remember that. That was bad.
It was like,
I think,
jumping and throwing everywhere, and like, it felt like every minute had his ult up to like do his sword attack on everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, it's like, I don't know if I don't feel it the same way, just because I typically play classes that are not always super desired. Like, a lot of people want to play offensive characters. A lot of people want to play like Reaper, Genji,
especially on consoles, from what I've heard.
So
or Hanzo.
Yeah, or Hanzo.
Or Bastion.
Yes, exactly. So like, I don't know if I just don't feel the same way. I'm always more inclined to play classes characters that will help my team, as opposed to just like wanting.
That's what I do too.
That's why I also like, again, I talked about it last week, but I like Soldier 76 because to me he doesn't play like a straight offense guy. He plays kind of like an offensive support. Like, he is gonna do damage. He can do slight burst damage with his rockets, but he's just gonna stay in the fight and sustain and just be there, So that's kind of why I like him.
I totally agree with that. I like him too.
But yeah,
he's the one I didn't play. He's one of the ones I didn't play very much of. I think I'll try him out when the game comes out for full.
He's not like the guy that you look at and you're like, this guy looks awesome.
Well, that's the reason I didn't play as him. Because I was kind of like, this guy looks like a soldier man.
My thing with Overwatch,
we're all soldiers now.
My thing with Overwatch is it feels very much like a game that Blizzard would not make. Because it's just like, hey, it's an FPS, and guess what? There's like barely any leveling. The only leveling is like weird cosmetic boxes that you unlock. That's it.
Loot box.
And that's it.
Open
and it's
it.
Oh, I got a new voice.
I got a
voice.
I got a victory pose.
I got a skin. It's like, those are cool, but I love the victory poses. They look so much like Street Fighter. It's amazing. Anyway,
I got the.
Let's move on to the next game.
Yeah, no,
Anyway, Overwatch is amazing. I'm glad I pre-ordered it. Again, I said this I think back before I even played it, back when it was coming out, and I bought it way ahead of time, which is something I normally don't recommend anyone does. But I think it is literally the natural evolution of TF2. TF2.
Yes.
Team Fortress 2. It doesn't feel like it rewrites the book at all. It feels like, for the most part, it's actually just making a small incremental adjustment on what's already there. But it is an evolution.
There
It
hasn't
is a
been
change
anything since TF2
that really made that
it.
change.
And I think, again, we talked about it last week, where it's like...
And it changes enough to where it matters.
Yeah, like, and you can't really point out one thing where it's like, this is a completely unique
No, yeah.
unique
exactly.
to Overwatch, but it does everything that it does
so well.
That's what, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Yeah,
Of course
more,
we will.
because
It's coming out.
Like
pretty
in
soon.
2 weeks. What a suspicious coincidence that the beta would come out
does it?
like less than a month. before
Actually,
the
it
game.
comes out next week.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Well, me and Ethan won't
Well-
be playing any games at all next week. Well, maybe Factorio.
I probably won't either because I
You pre-ordered it too? You got it as well?
on
Yeah, there we go.
PS4.
I wish there was crossplay.
Yeah,
No, because
I'm-
honestly, like there
Yeah,
are some.
Well, yeah.
Widowmaker would be dominant against like everyone on
Yeah,
PS4.
against yeah. Man, I remember I went. So I never owned TF2 on consoles, but I went to Brandon's house one day and he had it on console, and of course it's still vanilla version too. Like it's like 2-3
they
years.
never
It's like
updated
2-3 years after the game came out, and it's still vanilla version. I'm like, I just played.
I played it at your house.
I played Spy, and I was like, I can kill everyone.
I did the same thing at your house
No
when I
one
played it. I
looks
was
behind
laughing
them.
hysterically.
Yeah, no one looks behind
I don't
them.
get why
I
everyone's
must
so
have borrowed
bad.
it from him or someone or something, like, because I
That's so
I
funny.
didn't buy that game on the console.
I played the PS4 version of Overwatch, and people were still pretty okay on it.
I'm
so.
sure. Like nowadays, though, I feel like back then it would have been 2007. It would have been a big difference between console
very
and
true.
PC. But
very
I feel
true.
like nowadays that whole market in itself is merged
Yes.
together fairly closely. So
Also, precision shooting isn't as important in Overwatch, except unless you're playing like Widowmaker.
yeah, that's the thing. Again, they kind of everything feels fuzzy. Everything feels squishy.
All right.
Like
No more Overwatch.
all right,
We're done.
fine. I played Stellaris as well.
Oh God, I've heard so many things about this game.
what is?
I hear this is the Paradox game that people can get into, as opposed to looking at Crusader
Yes.
games and going,
Yes.
"Oh God,
I
this
would,
is complicated."
I would,
That's what I
100% say that because I played Crusader Kings 2, and I actually quite enjoyed Crusader Kings 2.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Wait, this is
This is
similar
made by-
to Crusader
this is
Kings?
made by Paradox.
This is, Paradox.
This is
Okay.
made
They
by
made
the same
Europa
Universalis.
I know.
Sure, whatever.
Europa Universalis.
I
is
know
the name of the
Crusader
game.
Kings.
Crusader Kings 2. I actually quite enjoyed that game. I had a lot of fun with Crusader Kings 2, but I 100% agree that it is
it's really hard to penetrate.
mind-boggling unless you watch like a video on the internet about how to play it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, 100%.
Buy Monster Hunter. Buy
No,
Monster Hunter.
no,
buy Monster
shut
Hunter.
up. No one likes that game. That game is garbage.
Oh man,
No!
oh man, real talk.
Come
These two
on.
beers are kicking in.
Yeah, exactly, right? 6 packs. No, that game's fine.
We should put our podcast like a rating of the that
Well,
ABV.
speaking of
Two beers
speaking
are
of two
kicking
beers
in.
kicking in,
ABV.
Two
put them on
beers?
there and say how much alcohol content
This
these
is the
beers
two
have, and we'll
beers
see how all the podcasts change.
This is the 2 beers
and we'll
podcast.
rate them on a goofiness scale.
he's
Listen,
with
man,
YouTube.
Episode 100 was the goofy episode.
Yeah, we already did it.
It's
over.
too late. It's over.
But now we're just drunk
I
idiots.
think. Yeah, I was
Stellaris.
gonna say. I think that like having 2 beers before the podcast starts is definitely a good way to make sure that the podcast is
It's
not
the appropriate goofiness.
not as focused as it used to be.
Anyway, Stellaris.
Stellaris is 100% exactly what you said. It is a Paradox game that is much, much more accessible than Crusader Kings and Europa Universalis, which I can't say now that I've had 2 beers.
You
But
said it right.
yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
it sounds much better than me. I was like,
I
Europa
couldn't-
Yopa Dubas.
I had to like think about it. I was like, ah. Anyway, so I really want to show both of you guys this game because in similar way to how I want to see you play Factorium.
Yeah, you do.
I want to like show you guys Stellaris
How much
because
min-maxing is in Stellaris?
no, it's not even.
I know.
You can
You
if
totally
you want
can,
to.
yeah. You can download those games.
But what's the coolest thing about Stellaris is you start the game and you can play like 8 pre-made factions if you want, but that's boring.
Yeah.
What you really want to do is click the button that says Create New Empire. Yeah. You click that button, and you can literally choose like what your empire looks like.
What does it look like?
You can choose the names, the kind of
What's their
names
name?
they have. So I chose the ones that look like the villain from Monsters Inc. Randall. They look like
Oh,
him.
I thought you were gonna say Mr. Waternoose.
No.
I'll kidnap
Yeah,
1,000
okay,
children
yes,
before I
guess
let
he
this
is.
company die.
Yes. No. They look like Randall.
Okay.
They're like
You little
the
cretin.
like the little slimy like
Like chameleon, salamander.
oh
looking
gosh,
guy.
I should have looked it up before I came. I can't remember the name of my empire now.
No.
It's like the Tirgon,
The Ming Dynasty.
the Tirgon. Is it a Tirgon Confederacy or something like that?
Okay.
I'm a theocratic republic. So that's what's so cool. So you can not only choose the way your character looks, the names they have, you can choose the names of all the race, like all the planets they use, the ships they use, the kind of the people that they have on the planet. You can then choose, like, okay, that's all cosmetic stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can choose what kind of planet they live on, which matters for how you can colonize new planets. You can then choose like what their values are, like what their ethics are. So for me, spiritualism, xenophilia, like as in like they really value alien races.
like
They want to go find
You're
aliens.
so nice.
And individualism.
Wait, what? How those match together? Individualism. So like you're a powerful, independent alien race.
Well, that would make sense because you want to go find
Yeah, I
unique
guess right, yeah.
people in the universe
So
because
you
value
value
individuals.
individuals.
Makes sense.
Right? So there's everything in the game has like this opposite. So like instead of there's like militarism and pacifism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's fanatic militarism and fanatic pacifism, which cost different amounts to like have that, incorporate that into your empire. I have spiritualism. The other one is materialism on the other side. Instead of individualism, there's collectivism, and collectivism is not like in the human world we would say, oh, like socialist versus capitalist. You mean it's more like, do you believe individuals are a thing, or do you believe like hive mind? Like that's kind of imagine that kind of opposite.
Okay.
That's kind of what it's more like it's talking about. And then there's a couple others. What else did I say? I said individualism, xenophilia, and xenophobia. Of course, you can say aliens are all bad, and everything that's alien should be
that is
purged.
not us.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. So there's totally a thing that you can do. And so based on the kind of three things that you choose for your ethics for how your people group thinks, then you can say what kind of government you have. So I have a theocratic republic, which means that like every 5 years there's an election, but they're electing like there's not like a public election like here in the U.S. It's like the Council of Elders convenes and chooses the head elder to lead the church and and government. You can, if you have different kind of values, then you can have a direct republic or a indirect republic like we have in the United States, which is you elect leaders, and those leaders make the laws every 5 years.
Pero, could you have a dictatorship?
You could have a military dictatorship. You could have an empire.
see.
You could have what's called a divine mandate, where the
Ah,
emperor
God
the
chose me.
emperor is a god, and the emperor makes all the choices.
Jesus.
You could have a Plutarch. You could have a
No pun.
yeah. You could have an oligarchy where just like there's like a bunch of elite people that choose the ruler, and they're the ones that choose the ruler. There's no
Okay.
voting. It's just like these elite people choose the
I
ruler.
like how these type of games, including one we'll probably talk about a little bit later, actually kind of teach you about some of like the ways things were run or continue to be run or whatever.
Basically,
like
my
that.
point is that I want to build a Pixel Legends empire. And we need to all three of us choose our empire and design it together, and it'd be very very fun. So then, besides that, you craft your empire, right? You start out in space. You choose how you travel through space. Like it's got so many options for how you do like what you do.
Sounds dense.
It sounds
It's a paradox game.
It is dense. It is definitely dense. I will not deny that, but it is less dense than Crusader Kings. It is not. It is Crusader Kings is literally a bunch of menus.
It really
Like
is.
Crusader Kings has graphics for the benefit of the human playing the game.
Yeah.
not because you need the graphics to play the game.
It's always funny when you run into games like that. Like
Yeah.
I played baseball sims, like where it's like here's a bunch of menus and maybe we'll give you a character portrait for each character.
100%. This game is the balance I find between Crusader Kings and what.
That sounds really interesting.
Because you start out in a planet. And it's really cool because it's got that Crusader. You know how Crusader Kings had all those dialogue boxes where it's like, "Your uncle is trying to murder you. What do you want to do about it?" It's stupid, goofy stuff like that. You're going on an adventure, and you start out where it's like we've just invented space travel, where we can travel between stars now.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we want to do? You have your science ship that you start out with, and you can go explore planets. And then you start discovering stuff, and it's like, you want to investigate this further. And eventually you're going to find other alien empires. Mm-hmm. And so far I found 2. One who's like, similar to me, he's like a xenophile, spiritual, like...
Who's kind of like, oh, cool.
Yeah, like, we like you guys a lot. And then there's another one that's also similar, but they're like the other one that I met is is like an oligarchy. So it's like a religious oligarchy with like the church kind of picks its own heads of state for 40 years or so.
Okay.
I'm a republic, so it's every 5 years. And then we met one next door who is like ruled by a divine god, or in terms of their own eyes, and
they might be a little
they're
more difficult to
they're a
deal
little
with,
bit they don't like me nearly as much because our disagreements because of our disagreements in government type,
mm-hmm.
they don't like me as much. But the cool thing about that group that I just met is that they are like fanatically pacifist. So even though they're ruled by this divine emperor, they're not very strongly favoring war. And you can also find like these like kind of like, what would you say, like third party or these like alien races that are not necessarily part of an empire, quote unquote, but just like these space jellyfish.
No, nomadic,
just,
tribal kind of.
Well, not even nomadic, tribal, but like imagine like a race of creatures that's almost like an animal. Like they live in space.
They don't.
And
I slaughter them like animals, and I hate them.
The younglings, Anakin. The younglings.
You killed. What the fuck?
Whoa.
Everything's fine.
Language.
Sorry about that.
I don't know. Didn't you listen to last week's episode?
I know. Every time I'm not here.
Care.
No, this is what happens when 2 beers get drunker for this podcast.
2 beers get drunk for this podcast.
But no, but there's
Drunkcast.
So there's aliens that are not necessarily like, they don't live on a planet. They don't have an empire. They're just like space. For instance, we met space amoebas, and like the dialogue pops.
Amoebas. I'm less interested now.
Space amiibos. You put them on NFC.
Was there Waluigi amiibo?
Hey guys, I played Twilight Princess HD. It comes with the Wolf Link amiibo with Midna. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you told us about it.
The only thing that's used for so far is that you can press it on the Wii gamepad and it quick loads your game. So you don't have to like select your game save. It just quick loads it straight into it.
I know what it is for though.
It does other things too.
No, I think it's lame.
It goes to like a dungeon.
I think
that's
yes,
like
it unlocks
a pit
like
of 1,000 trials.
It like unlocks a challenge dungeon.
Yeah, it's like a challenge dungeon. It's really boring.
Cool.
It's really
Anyway,
boring. Stellaris is cool. It's got space amoebas, and what's cool about space amoebas is like it pulls up this dialogue box. It's like you meet these aliens. It's like research these aliens some more. And so okay, I hit the research button. We research it. It goes, hey, these are called space amoebas. They were called that because at first the sensors were wrong and someone translated them wrong, and we thought they were like an inch, but they're actually like 50 million miles across. So they're called.
What?
So my race calls them space amoebas now, even though they're the size of like planets.
Yes.
And so that's
scary.
That's the thing. They attack me whenever I go into their system, so I have to like. I have to build a bunch of troops to go in there and kill them.
I want to check this game out, man.
This game is cool.
Right.
I really want to show you guys this game. Unfortunately, Ricardo does not have a computer that's good enough to like download
Maybe
it and
someday.
show you guys.
Maybe
someday soon.
Someday. Are we done talking about video games? I mean,
Fine,
talking about like
jeez.
no offense, man, but
sorry to ruin your evening by talking about video games in this video game podcast.
we gotta talk about other stuff's happening in video
All right,
games.
go ahead.
It's not just us.
Are you
It's
talking,
about the
wait,
world.
Perhaps you're talking about the news.
I am talking about
The news.
the news. Listen,
We've been
we
talking
still
about
have to pull up
while.
the news.
We've been talking about a while. I got the news right here. Goodbye, Disney Infinity.
Oh,
That really did suck, seriously.
No, but seriously, I did not see this coming.
That's pretty crazy.
Because the thing about the Disney Infinity is, I felt like they were doing so well. You know, like they were coming out with not amiibos. They're coming out.
They were coming out with Disney Infinity figures
all the time, and they made it seem like that company, that wing or whatever, was doing amazing.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's honestly, when Disney Infinity first came out, it was a game that I was actually really looking forward to.
That was the one I was most interested
because
in.
it was at a time where this was when I actually was buying Skylanders and stuff. And
I forgot you had that part in your life.
I had Skylanders. Man,
Where are they? I don't see them around here.
they're at my parents' house.
You know, taking with him.
Spoilers. We're at my house today. But yeah. So like, as you were saying, like they were consistently coming out with new figures all the time.
Yeah, and like they just made it seem like that was like a successful thing. Like I went to Disneyland. They have that Star Wars section there at Inventions. You could play some Disney Infinity there.
Yeah.
They would sell those Infinity figures at Disneyland, and like the amount of, I guess, commitment that Disney has to their properties almost makes it seem like everything's going great, everything's well.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess that's sort of Disney magic. It was like nothing ever goes wrong here. But then they're like, no, Avalanche Studios, goodbye. Like we're shutting you down. And I think they're going to take a 100. I think I'm going to look at the thing real quick here. 147 million. Yeah, $147 million charge to offset the cancellation, which is a lot of inventory write down just because there's so much, figures they already have. I think it's the Hulk that has a whole bunch. Was one thing I read. I don't know if that's true. I read that off Twitter. Probably could be wrong.
I know Hulk at one point was like exclusive to one platform. If I remember correctly. I remember there was also a story out right after this happened that Walmart had already gotten like Disney Infinity stuff off their shelves.
And that's kind of...
Well, I mean, it's not exactly a good sign for to say, like, hey, the studio's shutting down and we're done with updating this thing. Or, mostly. I think there are actually a couple of planned updates still coming out for it. But, for the most part, hey, we're done with this thing. Even if the retailers didn't already know, which they probably did, but even if they didn't, it's not exactly like we're going to keep stocking this now. Well, no, we're not. We're going to get rid of this right away.
I think the saddest part is that the studio actually had
a ton of
more
plans.
plans.
Yeah, they're gonna
they were doing.
They had, like,
Rogue
new
One and the thing.
New figures.
They were
like,
gonna make bigger figures.
Yeah, they were gonna do the whole Skylanders Giants thing where they were gonna make bigger figures and
but
stuff.
I think the problem was that instead of the market growing, they just took out, like when Lego came in, which I think was the last one.
Lego Dimensions.
And they just Amiibo too. I mean,
Amiibo,
that was a while ago.
In some ways, I feel like less so maybe, but
even
regardless,
so, like, you're gonna spend $15 on a figurine. You're not gonna do that many times a month.
I think the thing is they, instead of growing the market, it just took a bigger piece of the already there market.
Yeah,
it did not grow,
It did not grow.
The pie just had another slice.
It just shrunk a little bit.
So
I almost wonder if Disney was just looking at charts and they saw that
seems
pie
exactly
got
how
smaller,
corporate
and
was
then they're
looking at
like, "All right, forget this. We're getting out of the games completely now. Video games."
The funny thing is that as recent as like March or something like that, one of the top Disney guys was saying something like, "Yeah, the company's 100% behind this thing,"
which it seemed like they were.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, like I'm sure to his knowledge, they 100% were. It's just that like it's so crazy that like on the video game side of things, everyone was thinking like, yeah, things are going great. We're making a great game. People are enjoying our game. It's getting good reviews.
Yep.
The products are doing decently well. We're top of the game kind of thing in this regard, in this level of in the Toys of Life kind of genre, and we got like all these plans for the whole next year and a half, and it's solid. And then like within a month, it's just gone. Just gone.
Yeah.
Rogue One and Finding Dory are the last two.
Yeah.
Like Amiibos are planned.
Yeah, it's
Amiibos. Why do I keep saying that?
I mean,
Man,
because
they
actually,
got called.
the thing is that they don't have
Told
like
you those are
figures.
they
muscling
don't
on the
have.
market.
They
Told
don't.
you.
Yeah, they don't. They did. That's why they failed. They don't have like a clever shorthand name.
Skylanders.
You can't just call them Skylanders, or you can't call them
Amiibos or
Disney
Legos.
Disney Infinites.
Disney
Figs.
Disfigs.
Infinifigs. Infinifigs.
Man, if only they could have gotten a piece of that Tsum Tsum.
Lego.
Zoom.
Lego.
Zoom.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's sad. Also, especially because I can't remember what article this came from, but they were talking about how like Disney Infinity figures actually looked a lot better than
the quality of the build
like
was
They looked really
than
nice.
like Skylanders or Amiibos. Like
I don't think they look better than
it's
Amiibos,
funny.
but
You know what's funny is that like for a while, I mean, like Disney themselves, like their all their stuff about it was like how about their stuff was the best and they were doing the best and they were the kind of leading the way in this market. I don't think that was ever wrong. I feel like Disney Infinity, as much as I never really liked any of the Toys Life
yeah, I
kind
just
of
didn't want to
games,
get into it. But yeah,
I feel like they probably were the better quality in terms of everything, the game itself, the figures themselves, like,
They had some
factoring
really
all that
neat
in.
ideas.
I mean,
They probably were the best quality. The weird thing, that's the weird thing to me is the leader is the one getting out. Not like I don't feel like they were the weakest, and that's why they're leaving. You know what I
see,
mean?
but the
Like,
thing
that's
about
weird
Disney
thing
is it
that-
operates on such a different level
yeah,
than like
this is
any
a
other
big
video
company.
game.
They're just like, well, the video game division's not working.
It's
Cut
not,
it.
It's not
Cut it.
Activision.
not
Cut
to
it.
mention a lot of people were saying like how Nintendo had a lot of problems with their supply
That's true.
thing, but at the very least they have the stock for what the demand is. Infinity just saturate the market with figures and you're left with a lot that aren't going
Leftover.
sold or whatever like that. So interesting. Also, again, it is kind of weird to think that how it's kind of weird to think how like as early as late E3, as early as last E3, they were still really hard pushing this thing.
Yeah, it's definitely like again. I feel like the game side of this was blindsided 100%. I feel like I said, people fairly high who like you feel like they would have known if a change was coming, in like they didn't. Like last month they were saying everything was great and the company was behind them. So obviously someone high on the ladder who was not part of the games division made this decision.
Totally.
Someone in Disney corporate was like, games aren't working, cut it. Cut games. Games
Just
are
looking
done.
at dollars, bro.
Just, yeah,
Just
yeah,
looking at dollars.
It's not working. And so
Sad.
that sucks. That sucks for the game developers. It sucks for
It's 300 people out of a job.
yeah, like people who were making a decent game. It
Yeah,
wasn't
that's the
like,
thing.
oh hey, your game sucked. Sorry guys, that's just what happens when a game
It's
doesn't
like, no,
work.
honestly, out of all the Toys of Life games, that was the one I was like, I would maybe get into that if I wanted to lose a lot of money.
Had
But-
interesting standalone adventure missions and then
The
the
sandbox
whole toy
mode
box
seemed
thing.
cool.
And they were just about to they were apparently just about to add the stuff where it's like things people were asking for, where it's like, I want to play as Star Wars in the Marvel area, and I want to play as, and they weren't that before. It was like if you get the Star Wars set,
you can only
that's
play
just
them
the
in
Star Wars
missions.
yeah.
Sucks.
But they were apparently just about to start adding the features where it was like, hey, no, now you can play as anyone anywhere, like, and that's cool.
Well,
Not anymore.
on the bright side, at least in EA,
At least another Disney property is getting a sequel.
you get a Battlefront 2.
Already?
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Man.
Remember that
Already?
game? It's coming out.
They barely even supported the first one.
2017.
Man.
Whoa, what? Really? Oh, man, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was that.
Yeah, April to
Star
December
Wars
2017.
Battlefront. Talk about a game.
Is it
that
going to be
was
called? Is it
just
going
a
to be called
game.
Battlefront 2? Is it going to be called Star Wars
They just said a
Battlefront 2?
No, they just said a sequel. So it's made by
Not Dice.
Visceral
Not
Games.
Die.
Visceral Games.
Oh, that's the
Oh,
game that Visceral's been working on.
Yeah, so
I wanna
instead of
mention
making
something.
Battlefront,
The Dante's Inferno people.
I want to mention something really quick, guys. Last week, you said a thing on the podcast.
Uh-oh.
You said that Respawn's making a new Battlefront game, or new, not Battlefront. You said a new Star Wars game. That was correct. You were not wrong about that. The other things that you were wrong about is that Respawn has made more than one game. They haven't. They've made Titanfall. That's the only game they've made.
I didn't know we alluded to that, but anyway.
You
Did we say
said
that?
I like Respawn's games,
Well, I think he
Titanfall
was
and
saying.
probably Titanfall 2.
and Call of Duty 4, which is not
Yeah, I guess.
Respawn. That was Infinity Ward back when the people who worked at Respawn worked at Infinity Ward.
I think
as well.
that's
Fair
what
enough.
we're talking about.
Fair enough. The other thing was that the one thing that you didn't note is that the Star Wars game that's made by Respawn is not going to be a shooter.
What
Because
is it
you were
gonna
saying
be?
it like, oh, I like Titanfall. I can't wait for a shooter in the Star
I
Wars.
thought it was gonna be a
universe.
third-person game.
It's gonna be a third-person action
It
game.
might not be a shooter.
It's being directed by the person who directed God of War. So it's probably not going to be a shooter at all. It's not going to be a third-person shooter.
Jedi Council. I'm going to decapitate you, Jedi Council.
I-
killed my family. I hate you, Jedi Council.
That's all the dialogue for all the 3 games. that are made.
Yoda! I am here to take your head with its pointy ears on it.
And then he has sex with Ayla Secura. Yeah.
With some clever thing. Speaking of which, I have God of War 3 over there that I need to play.
Anyway, the the point being, apparently the God of War, the director who worked on God of War, has been with Respawn for quite a while, apparently.
I didn't
did
know.
not know that.
But he is the one who is going to be directing the game, the Star Wars game.
Okay.
And it's going to be a third-person game, not a first-person shooter.
Interesting.
Just an FYI. Battlefront 2.
That's okay.
Battlefront 2. They just made Battlefront 1. Why are they already making Battlefront 2?
Because you know what? F that.
The-
We're going to a new one.
The funny thing is that Battlefront 2 had the whole season pass
And it's made by a
thing.
different company, and not even the same company.
No dice.
You
It's,
guys- no dice.
No dice.
No dice.
They're
It's
making
Visceral.
Battlefield 1, dude. They got better things to do.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Mirror's Edge, Catalyst.
The thing is,
Battlefield 1, don't get me started.
you just said Battlefield 1, and I was like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
World War 1 game.
That
Excuse
thing
me.
we were... Anyway.
But yeah, to me, it's like they sold that whole season pass, and I don't know what it was for. They have that Outer Rim thing going
Yeah.
on right now, and I guess that's what it was for. To me, that's not enough content for what they were selling that season pass for. I think it was like a full.
We're back.
And we're back. Apparently, we ran out of recording space. That happens sometimes. We missed a few news stories. We're going to quickly gloss over them right now. We're going to say, hey, the NX apparently is not a sequel to the Wii U or the 3DS. What does that mean? The end result is we don't know. Also, 2DS is cheaper now.
Dope. Also, Nintendo's going to make their own movies.
Yeah, Ricardo, what do you think about that?
I think it's gonna be garbage.
Yeah, that could be anything. We talked about the Mario Super Show. I have a DVD of that now.
We're going to have to watch
We're
that.
going to have to watch that sometime.
Listen,
Yep.
NX not being a successor to the Wii U and 3DS is only interesting because it makes it even more of a mystery of kind of what they're planning to do with that, because no one knows what that thing's going to be, and now this makes it even more cloudy, more weird. The other thing
The other thing we started to talk about before
started
the
to
thing
talk
ran out.
was Fig still can't collect from the Psychonaut investors.
Ricardo-
The Psychonaut investors being the SCC?
Yeah, the SEC.
SEC.
Ethan, you invested in
I
Psychonauts
put
too.
down to assign $500 was the
Wait,
minimum.
What?
What are you thinking about with this $500, man?
Listen.
Like, you might as well just take
The reaction,
$500.
the reaction was so much better the first
Why don't you
time.
just take $500 and then just like hand it to like a rabbit and just be like,
And that rabbit's like, here's some new.
Give me something cool.
The rabbit-
because that's what Double Fine is.
The-
Double Fine is cute and outwardly they look like they know what they're doing, but in reality, if you pop a balloon in front of Double Fine, they will have a heart attack and die.
Whoa,
Maybe
that's
I'm
weird.
referring to a rabbit in that case.
The rabbit is actually going to give you some games based on your Miis that you collect in your Miiverse.
Look, man, I was interested in doing it for content, bro.
Yeah, no, actually, what's interesting is that Ethan's mom invests in GameStop and has made
She
quite
did.
a lot of money
She's
in that.
just
Even,
made quite
even as we've
profitable.
been
Even though I've
crying-
actually told her multiple times, yo, these used games, you can't buy them after a while. Oh, wait, they're still going. Okay, well,
never
never mind,
mind.
Mom. Apparently, you know what you're doing better than I do.
Yep.
Cool, thanks, Mom. All right, see ya. The point is, they've been trying to get this sort of, before they used to have it where it was a, credit investors could only invest, but now they're trying to do this sort of new
There's a-
law that was passed by the
yeah, there's a new law.
a new law where you can kind of buy sort of like stock type things in a company where you will get the benefits of whatever profits they
However,
make.
the SEC has to approve that or something like
Yeah,
that.
they have to approve every single. I think
So they're still waiting on to get their approval. They
It's
thought it was
been
going to happen. They
months.
thought it was going to happen a long time ago.
That was gonna happen like December last year, I think. It was a while ago. They thought it was gonna happen, and it's still just not going. And
So all that money is just sitting there waiting.
and all those. I mean, that's the
Not-
thing is this happens with all Fig games. This is not just Psychonauts 2. This is every single Fig game that's. I mean, obviously, Rock Band did not get funded.
Yeah, well,
but
yeah.
there are some other games that they have gone on, like the Jay and Silent Bob game. I'm sure probably has a problem like that. So yeah,
Chronic
it's just,
Blunt Punch.
sure, whatever it's called. I honestly don't care. Because guess what? It's probably gonna be a bad game.
It's probably gonna be bad.
I have more faith in Psychonauts 2 for some reason. I may be stupid. I'm probably stupid.
It's gonna be probably a fine game. It's gonna be like alright.
It'll look really good. It'll have a lot of funny moments, and then it won't play that great.
Psychonauts actually played pretty good though. To be fair.
Psychonauts played pretty good.
So
the
maybe if
last
they
level
just take-
sucks. The
Yeah,
last
we
level's
know.
the worst.
The last level sucks. And the last bit of news that Matt wanted to skip, I'm gonna bring it up real quick. Rip Project Spark. It's over. Project Spark is dead. It's as dead as Disney Infinity, buried in the ground. They buried all those imaginary levels.
They
you know why?
buried Conquer.
Yeah, I was gonna say Conquer is only back in his weird HoloLens form,
Yeah.
and nothing else. He's dead on the Xbox. The Spark is over. The Spark is dead.
They had to kill his old
All
character
Spark.
model.
The Project Spark.
Y'all
The
Spark.
Project Spark. Put the Project Spark into my chest.
Autobots. Project Spark.
But yeah, I guess they had.
He's
to
also
do-
in Doom.
I think they
apparently.
just
you hear
had to
about
kill-
that? Do you hear Optimus Prime's in Doom?
No,
Oh, is he?
I really want to play Doom.
The new Doom has. I'm pretty sure it's Optimus Prime as like the weird bad guy scientist that like started the whole project that you're like trying to undo.
I know that in Doom, if you jump in the lava and you kill yourself, you do like the Terminator thing where you put thumbs up.
Nice.
as you
That
die.
seems.
As you
I really
die.
want to play a new Doom. Multiplayer, not very good. I heard the single player is really good. Anyway, point is,
That's
Project
all
Spark
that matters,
is over.
really.
Yeah, it's true. Who cares about
Rip.
multiplayer?
They had to kill Conquer's old character model because they had to have that really weird looking one. now
The weird. What did he even look like? Just dumb.
he looks
A
like
dumb,
a weird.
dumb is the right
dumb,
answer.
Yeah.
Speaking of dumb,
It's time for trailer trash.
trailer trash. Again,
Again, we
our
started
established theme that we have to say every single time.
Yep.
Guys, you know what's great about video games? Sean Bean. Sean Bean is the best thing about video games. Sean Bean is the best thing about Game of Thrones. It's unrelated to this. 'Cause we're talking about Civilization 6. Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean is the
Except
coolest.
for the
Sean
entire
Bean's
time
from
that-
Yorkshire. I'm from Yorkshire. I like Sean Bean.
Who narrated the season 2? He narrated Civilization 6 trailer. I
Yeah.
don't know if he narrates the game because I know the other
I don't
Game
care.
Boy dude number 4.
I don't care.
You're gonna get
Sean Bean.
6.
Who was in 5? Who was the guy for 5?
No one. I think it was no one.
It was
really.
no- it was
I don't
no-
think
no.
anyone knowable.
It was definitely Sean Bean for this.
It was definitely Sean Bean.
Sean Bean's awesome. I don't care about the rest of the trailer because the rest of the trailer didn't really show anything. It was like graphics.
It gave me goosebumps.
It was like graphics of
I love
famous. It was like
Civilization.
graphics of famous monuments and famous.
I
Things.
love what the humans have done with the world.
the humans. I love what you humans have done with this world.
I am Factorio.
Yeah.
That is my life.
Yeah, sadly, I've never gotten a chance to play a Civilization game except for Rev, which I really
Which
love.
I've heard they've incorporated a lot of elements from Rev into
I
this.
think Civilization Revolution is awesome. I think
That's what I've heard. I know they're adding because Civ 5 they removed unit stacking because it was getting stupid, and now they
added
added
a partial unit.
now they
stacking.
added like a partial unit stacking, which I think is the right
And they
move.
have
Where it's like,
districts
hey,
now.
you have you have a infantry squad. You can put a catapult on them, and they can.
They kind of have like a
they get
bonus
little
of
bonus,
They have a bonus now.
which I think is actually really
Or
cool.
it's like you also have like districts in the cities where it's like, oh, you want to build like a science laboratory, but where should you build it? You should build it on this tile over here, and that kind of gives you a bonus because it's on
Yeah,
a
so
mountain.
cities also
Mountains,
get bigger.
You know, that kind of thing. Like,
That's a lot of, again, the interesting thing about Civ and even XCOM to an extent is they don't reinvent the wheel every time they come out with it, but they tweak enough of it where it's like, ooh, yeah, you guys are doing something new and you guys are trying some other type of gameplay with this.
I'm
You want-
interested. I want to wait. I'm gonna hold off a little bit. To see
I'm not going to pre-order it, but I'm going to wait for
Civ
some.
5 when it first launched was not exactly
Oh,
well
yeah,
received.
Civ 5 was kind of bad at the beginning, but then they fixed it up and made
Yeah,
it.
they did.
They
Those
made it
expansions were
honestly better
amazing.
than Civ 4.
Those expansions were amazing.
All I hope is that this does well enough to finally make another Pirates.
No, they're too busy
No.
making XCOM. Speaking of
Also-
pirates, Assassin's Creed had pirates in it, and there's a new Assassin's Creed movie,
Yeah.
which
watched
is
that
not
trailer.
a video game. We watched a trailer for it anyway.
That looks all right.
This looks all right.
It looks
I mean,
better than most video game
The
movies.
thing is it has a strong.
It reminds me a lot of the Prince of Persia,
which was
movie
the
trailers,
best. Which was the best video.
which
game
was
movie.
like mediocre.
Yeah, but it was the best video game movie.
Mediocre.
I
But it was
actually
the best
kind
video
of
game
like
movie.
the Prince of Persia movie.
It's not
Yeah,
a bad
it's
movie.
fine. It's not like it's terrible. I watched it. I watched it in theaters.
Did you
I
watch
did
it with
too.
me? Were you there?
Maybe I did.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I
Whatever.
wasn't there, but I watched it with
Obviously,
my
I don't think
parents.
we knew you. That game was
That
movie. That movie was okay.
mediocre.
It was okay.
It was fine. I think this looks like slightly better quality.
I feel like
it
it-
looks slightly better. No,
I feel like it has a chance. All the special effects look really good.
the Animus is weird now.
Yeah, this is like a
The
weird,
enemy is a
like
weird
a
arm.
VR type
Also,
thing.
for some reason, they put the blades on him in the like. He's like, here, we're putting you into this Animus thing. Like, hook him into this giant arm thing, which is now the Animus, and like. There's a shot of 2 blades on his wrist, but he's wearing a t-shirt and like short shorts still.
Whatever,
Like,
dude. He's
Why
gotta
are
be
there
sassy.
2 blades on his wrist? Why does he
Also-
need
Because
those?
that's the one
Why
thing
does
he
he
needs
need-
to feel.
Michael
Why does he-
Fassbender looks like he's having no fun. He looks
no,
like
he
he's
looks
very
terribly
depressed.
bored. He looks completely bored.
But maybe that could be just the edits.
he's
They
just-
make him look serious.
If
I
he's
don't know.
just phoning it into this whole movie, it's gonna be a terrible movie.
Yeah, him and Marion Cotillard are like the main
Yeah,
two
and also-
actors in this film.
And also, I did see Ricardo mentioning on Twitter that it was reported the filmmaker said that 65% of the movie are in the
Yeah.
modern day.
Yeah, that part kind of.
That is definitely sad.
Unless they
or
do something
do-
interesting with it,
that's
which
a-
I don't know.
It's not it's not automatic bad, but it is a warning. Like, that is a an exclamation point, like a yellow flashing light going saying like.
But they might be able to make the actual modern day stuff more interesting than the game because in
Sure.
the game it was like you just walk around and you're just this weird Adam Sandler looking dude and you're just walking around doing nothing. Lady, you're scaring us. And
yeah, well, I mean that was what I was.
Sloppy Joe.
That's what I was saying is that this obviously has Michael Fassbender as kind of the lead protagonist.
Your
Hopefully
favorite.
I love Michael Fassbender. He's
I
great.
know. I said your favorite.
So hopefully it does a little bit more interesting things than the game did in terms of the modern day stuff. But at the same time, it's like if that's the proportion that the movie is from past to present, or excuse me, like whatever kind of future modern day it's supposed to do. And the trailer is kind of actually the opposite. The trailer was showing like 65% of past and like 35%.
It's still pretty
future.
close. It's
Yeah.
still 50-50 almost in that
Yeah.
trailer.
Regardless,
Why do they put the blades on him
Maybe
if he's just hooked up
45%.
to the machine? Doesn't make any sense. Why would you
He
do
needs
that?
to feel the blades on him.
I don't get it.
He
Whatever.
needs to feel it.
It could be bad. It could be good.
Could be anything.
I mean,
It's a trailer.
It's a trailer. It looks better than most video game
It
trailers.
looks pretty good right now.
But
We'll see.
we'll see. Whatever.
I'm reserving judgment.
So many video game movies coming out this year, though, with Warcraft,
Mario.
Angry Birds came out.
Is that out?
Super Mario
Yeah, it
Bros.
already came
movie.
out. I heard it was okay. Forgettable, but okay.
Alright.
Yeah.
Angry Birds, Warcraft coming out.
Years too late.
Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed. What was
Warcraft.
something else that's coming out? There's one other game.
Is Assassin's Creed this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like there's one other game movie that's coming out.
Warcraft.
Yeah, I'll just say Warcraft. Warcraft 2, which will be better.
Overwatch.
Overwatch. We did
This-
watch an
this- I
Overwatch
feel-
trailer.
Okay, again, just like last time, I feel like the Overwatch trailers are cheating because they're basically just movies. They're not trailers.
Whatever, dude. I
And
like
they
watching
don't have
them.
anything to no. This is that's what I'm saying. Is that like I enjoyed watching this trailer the most out of any of the trailers, but I feel like it's an unfair advantage to have this 8-minute trailer that's a movie, like
A
a
small,
short
short
short story movie, like competing
Yeah,
against trailers that are
okay.
like actual trailers.
Listen,
This is the best trailer by far. But
I just want to watch. I just want to watch a
also,
movie with my friends.
none of this movie has to do with the game.
Yeah, you say it every time, and every time it's true. Unfortunately, because you know
But it
you can get
was
3
cool.
Hanzos and
But it was
3
cool.
Genjis.
It was cool.
Yeah, this one was about Hanzo and his like
And his
whatever.
brother Genji, who he killed but is still alive. How did he get alive? We don't know. You'll find out if you read the lore.
The next trailer we watched was Hitman: Elusive Target, which is their first. I think it was the first one they've done
These,
where
like,
it's
timed
like
missions.
where it's like you have 48 hours in real life to kill this target. You have one chance. If you fail,
and if you
it's over.
die, it's over.
It's over. So you got to
no,
perfect this mission.
No, like preloading it and like testing it out. You just go in and that's it.
So instead of being in Sapienza, where like the newest
The
mission
last
is,
one was.
it's in Paris. So you
Which
go
is the
back
first
there.
mission.
The first mission, and you go back there and you try to kill this random man who has his own little storyline, which is neat that
This
they're
is
adding
really-
kind of like an old.
This is just really smart.
Yeah.
Like this is really smart game design of like they're making the most out of these big, diverse, like deep environments they have. Like yeah,
Right.
they're not making a whole new area for each place. And yeah, you've seen this place before, and you've seen some of these scripts before, but it's cool that they're just like really diving in deep to the different areas they're making.
Again,
I think that's
Hitman,
cool.
great game.
Pretty cool game.
What else we got here?
Ultimate Word Search Collections 2.
Look, man, I was just finding random games. I just put that on there.
This is a word search game as a picture of a bear. That's all I remember.
He's grumpy. There's
Other than
multiple.
that, nothing happens
The
with the bear.
collection
The bear's
Look, you can
includes
play
Ultimate. Oh no,
America.
excuse me. Epic America word
Yeah,
search.
you should find America words like
Epic
Obama.
Ancient word search.
Ultimate
Epic
Animals.
Animal word search.
animals. Epic Shakespeare.
Was it
If you guys-
Shakespeare? I
Yeah.
missed that one.
If you guys like word search,
Word search.
this
is
the game.
epic
This is
ultimate
the
word
ultimate.
search.
I mean, it was like, look at this word search on the screen. It's like, nah, bro, you can scroll up. It could even-
Yeah, it's like make more word search than you
many
would ever
words?
want.
How many words?
Hey, that 2DS is only $79 now. Get this word search game or not. It's
So
probably
many
bad.
words
I didn't
search.
speak. I didn't say it during the Overwatch thing, but did you know that they are actually compiling those Overwatch cutscenes, those shorts, and they're playing them? You can watch them in certain select theaters.
That is crazy.
I mean,
How
if
many
they get
shorts
it,
are there?
There's
Th-
3 right now.
There's
only
only right
3.
now.
So that's like 3 hours, not even that.
Wait, what?
3 hours.
Oh,
3
3 hours.
30 minutes. I don't know why I said 3 hours. 30
I
minutes.
was gonna
less than
say
30
they're
minutes.
like 9 minutes long each. So,
So
yeah,
like
it's
25
minutes
30
or so.
minutes. Yeah,
So about 30 minutes.
It's still really weird to compile them in a.
I mean, there might be.
movie game.
I feel like they're gonna have one for each character.
That would be
though.
amazingly cool. I would. I think that not one for each
Remember how-
character, but like one for
Well,
like.
they might.
Well, this is Genji and Hanzo in one.
Yeah, and they
Each
did, and
one
then
has
Tracer
had
and
2,
Widowmaker,
and then
Winston,
Winston
and
and
Reaper.
Reaper.
Yeah, so I guess.
Oh, I
probably-
didn't see the Tracer and Widowmaker one. I must have missed that
Oh,
one.
really? No, that one's pretty good.
I must have missed that one. But yeah,
That one kind of gives you more insight into the story, I guess.
I
of
remember
kinda
the
like lore.
opening one that has Winston and Tracer and.
I feel like you just
Widowmaker
weren't.
and-
Were you not there? You weren't there for the.
I was probably
Tracer
out
Widowmaker?
of the
out
country.
of the country.
Anyway.
you do this?
Last one was Smashing the Battle.
This is what Matt added, so I
Dude,
felt,
I
felt
like
weird
how we
about
the
it.
points went out. Like you
No,
added all
I'm
the other
pointing out
ones.
because I added all the other ones,
Because
and
I don't know. It was on.
Anime waifus.
It was on like number 2 of the top
Matt
sellers.
just wants anime in every single
No,
trailer trash.
what happens is I go on to Steam. I look at. I don't know what you do, but like I look on the top current sellers for Steam.
No,
and
I'm glad
like,
I don't do that.
And I'm like, what are new that is currently most popular? And I look at those and I go, all right, does this have a trailer? Okay, it does. That's the one I'm going to put.
Alright.
I add 1 or 2 of those a week.
No, good.
That's
I'm
it.
glad you do that.
Anime waifus apparently are very popular on Steam, so that's what got
So
put on the thing.
anime waifus like to also beat up stuff and play Dynasty Warrior type games.
It looked almost like Diablo
I
cross
looked
Dynasty
Diablo.
Warrior. Yeah.
Diablo Dynasty Warrior type thing.
And hey, what you added Persona 5 last time? That's
and
anime.
I really
Listen,
want to watch that too, but
listen,
I'm so sad I missed it.
Listen, that's a popular game. That
Persona 5 is
that
amazing.
That
Persona
transcends
5 looks
everything.
cool.
It looks cool. Yeah, this was anime waifus in power armor that beat up
Boobies.
stuff.
Do you guys like
and they're
boobies?
Somehow,
you
despite
guys are
the,
male.
Yeah, again,
You guys are male heterosexual guys.
I
you like
sure am.
boobies?
despite the fact how much armor they were wearing, their
Boobies.
bounced up and down.
The one thing they couldn't constrain was their
Those
natural
boobs.
breasts.
and it was
You
all in
have
Korean. It was
great
all the font was Korean.
Anime boobs.
That's a throwback.
That's all we remember about it.
Honestly, it just looked like a fighting thing.
Looks
And
very
honestly,
generic.
it's been the longest amount of time since we saw it. So compared to all the everything else we talked about. So.
Yep, least impact. All right, so what is the winner of Trailer Trash? Here's-
Sean Bean is the winner of Trailer
Yeah,
Trash.
I'm gonna agree with that.
Sean
that
Bean.
I got goosebumps from that because I just love Civ so much.
I'm gonna.
I love Sean
I
Bean
am
so
going
much.
to.
So, similar but different.
I'm going to go against the opinion and say Overwatch, but
I still think that I agree with you, but the Overwatch should be disqualified because it's too good.
It's too good. It's just on a higher
Sean
level.
Bean is so good, but also it's a real trailer.
Well,
not a
this is
movie.
like when they tell the jury to forget what this testimony.
Yeah, please
I'm gonna
dismiss
say
this
it.
testimony.
I can't. And yet they say
Even
that
with
they
my
do,
knowledge
they
of amazing Overwatch videos, Sean
Guys.
Bean is still Sean Bean.
We should really mark which is the winner. That way, at the end of the year, we can watch all the winners from every trailer trash,
Oh,
and
man.
then make the
Well,
ultimate
we
trailer
we can
trash
go back.
decision.
There's only been like 4 or 5 of them now, so we can go back and
True. We
do
should
that.
That'd
All
be
right.
really fun.
We'll do that.
All right. Now that we've said it out loud,
We said it out
it's gonna
loud.
be a thing. Also, look forward to more Factorium videos and videos of us watching the Mario Bros. Super Show.
Oh, it's
Apparently,
gonna
that's
be
gonna
so
happen
good.
too.
Are they
It's gonna be so good.
Are they gonna be part of the Pixies? The trailer trash
You
winner?
know what? We might just say the Trailer Trash winner of 2016 is a thing. So, who knows? Stay tuned. You're gonna have to listen to every episode of this year to find out if that's the case or not.
Just gonna have to figure it out, man.
In the meantime, thank you for listening tonight, or whatever time you're listening to this. We appreciate you. Go ahead and check out our website, pixelwatches.com with 1 L. Our podcast is on iTunes. You can also find it on a lot of other RSS feed programs that would give you podcasts. Our Twitter account is pixel_legends, and our Facebook is Pixel Legends, again, with 1 L. Our YouTube is the same. So, yeah, we have videos. We got podcasts. We got new Dark Souls podcast that Ricardo's doing. We got other videos. We got Mario Maker stuff that's coming. Ethan's got a level for me, but because we're at Ricardo's house, we don't have it here to play.
Boo.
We've got potentially other videos coming for other video games that we mentioned tonight, and then of course we've got our
We got
podcast
stuff.
that
Good
you should
stuff.
check out. So
Stuff's coming out.
thanks for listening, guys. We really appreciate it. Check us out. Give us a review if you like the podcast.
Tell
Think
your
it's funny.
friends.
Tell your friends. That means the most to us, honestly, when we hear people say that they like this and they enjoy this podcast. That I genuinely mean that. Like, we're 3 dudes. We don't do this for a living. We don't make money off of this podcast, but like
lose
hearing
money. In fact,
we
all
we
these beers
seriously-
expensive.
we seriously do, and the hosting and all that other stuff too. But like hearing someone say that they actually enjoyed it, especially people that I don't actually know in real life, and saying that like, "Hey, I think this is cool," that's cool to me. So thank you guys. If you're one of those people, write a review, tell your friends, and we'll see you next week on the Pixel Podcast.
Goodbye.